What's going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here, coming to you live on the CHTV social channels. Hope you're all doing well. Look at this. The NFL draft in Pittsburgh. That is some crazy stuff going on right there. Hope you're all doing well. I got about a billion things going on here in my studio at the moment. So you'll bear with me as I take care of a whole bunch of different stuff. There we go. Got to do that. There it is. Sweet. Look at you, everyone joining in. How you doing? Soder's here. Soder, to answer your question, I'm on NFL Network. That's just me. That's just how I roll. But your mileage may vary. It was very weird to see Daniel Jeremiah on the desk pre-draft with the ESPN cohorts. That's very, very, very weird. So I'm glad to see DJ back where he belongs with his NFL Network brethren, and that's where I'll be. Ladies and gentlemen, Big B is here. What's up, Big B? How you doing? Hope you're all ready to follow along with your Cheesehead TV Pro Football Draft Guide. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you have not got your copy yet, there's a link in the description of this video for you to do so. Do it, everybody. We'll be following along, looking at all the prospects as they get selected, reading some of the scouting reports, and I'll have a few friends stopping by throughout the evening. God knows it's going to be a long night. No pick in the first round for the Green Bay Packers. You guys know we don't pick until tomorrow, so we got some time. So we're going to be hanging out, just basically, drinking some beer, talking some ball, making fun of the Vikings. It's what we do. And I would say make fun of the Lions, but who really thinks about the Lions? Of course, the Bears won 2 out of 3 last year, so we can't make fun of them, although they do still suck. So that's how that rolls. So it only happens once a year. That's right, Jeff. That is how we gather each and every year. It is kind of a precipitous change, drop-off, as it were, from all the electricity and the fun and the anticipation last year at this time when I was in Green Bay. The draft was literally happening right across the street from Corey's house. And then that selection of Matthew Golden, which obviously was one of the most electric moments of the offseason, if not the last couple years. And then, fast forward to this season, and no first-round pick, drafting in Green Bay. I'm here by myself because Corey was like, I have no desire or excitement about the draft, which I understand. I think he probably echoes the sentiments of a bunch of draft nerds who usually love the Packers stuff during the draft season. But I know some of the shine has been taken off because of the fact that they don't have a first-round pick, but they do have Micah Parsons. We'll be probably referencing that quite a bit tonight. I cannot wait to see all of the celebration when the Cowboys are on the clock, unless they trade up, which I know is a distinct possibility. But when they are on the clock with the pick that the Packers gave them, man, that is the time to watch your Micah Parsons highlight reel. That is the time to watch your Micah Parsons clips, fan cams, what have you. It's going to be a good time. What do we got here? We got folks. We got DP in here. We got Jeff. What's going on? Porkmaster is here. How you doing, Porkmaster? Mississippi in the house. What's up, David? How are you? Soder says, draft night. Shoot those names into my veins. Yeah, that is the thing. You're going to hear a lot of names tonight. No question about it. As per usual, the draft is taking its sweet time in getting going. A lot of pageantry. Raiders aren't even officially on the clock, though. We all know who they're taking. One thing to remember this year, which hopefully speeds things up a little bit, is the first round selections have to be made within 8 minutes, not the 10 minutes that have been the case for a number of years now. 8 minutes long for each selection. What's up, Northern California? good to see you. Good to see you during the Super Bowl. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging here on draft night. Always a lot of fun. If the player Dallas takes with our pick is a bust, it will be so much sweeter. Now, Tron, we don't have to wish on someone's downfall. We can just be happy that the Packers have Micah Parsons and are going to kill it with him. But yeah, it's never bad when the Cowboys suck and get a bad player and Packers can beat them up. But that's I'm not going to say that's insane. I'm not going to say that's crazy. You know, Portmaster. I'm not even watching the draft. I'm just watching you tell me the picks. It's better, I think. Is it? I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I am legit just hanging out tonight. I am not here for deep dive analysis. You guys know I watch the players I think the Packers could potentially draft, the players that I like that draw my eye, but I am certainly no draft guru, and I ain't going to pretend tonight. So, like I said, we'll be diving into the Pro Football Draft Guide from CHTV. Lots of great writers, analysts, what have you, who have lots of smart stuff to say, much smarter than I could have given you. Let's definitely say that. Why are people sending me texts and stuff when I'm live on the air? That's the fun part. All right. So the Raiders are on the clock. And with that, look at this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Look at this sweet, sweet action. Oh, that's right. We've got a ticker, people. Shout out to Tyler for making that because goodness knows that draft order will most likely be solid for a good 2-3 minutes before trades start to happen. But in the meantime, look at that. All your selections right down here below. That's how we're rolling. That's what we're doing. Soder, thanks, brother. Thanks for the support. Tonight is just an excuse to spend a night online with the greatest people on earth. That and drink. Primarily drink, but you all are okay. It's like an extended happy hour. Let's just think that. Hey, and speaking of happy hour, don't forget, Patreon members and Care of the G Club members, we will be having you here live on the YouTube channel tomorrow night when the Packers are actually making selections. So look for the Zoom info on your respective pages tomorrow morning. That will go up so you can join me here along with Newt Weston, the CHTV draft analyst guru, will be joining me all throughout Friday night as well. Once again, Corey will be conspicuous by his absence, but we'll have lots of folks popping on, stopping by. It's going to be a good time. Jim, how are you, man? The Vikings thought it was still 10 minutes. Man, can you believe they did that twice? Not just once, twice. They legit ran out of time, ran over their allotted time 2 times in the modern era. That's just crazy, man. Care of the G isn't in Montana. Sean, I know. I'm forever regretful. But someday, let's give it 10, 15 years. We're working our way to Montana, brother. I promise. We're doing everything we can. Jerome. CHTV production value just keeps getting better. I know, and I have very little to do with it. Hey, at least we're live. We actually went to YouTube, which is great. Because 2 days ago, was it Monday on Packers Daily? I was going to all these platforms, but not YouTube. So great. I'm glad we're live on YouTube. That's a good thing. It's the little things that count in life, you know, when you've got the stream you're supposedly doing actually going out. It's the good things. It's the little things in life. Love that. We got 2 people. Portmaster's also in Montana. That's awesome. Leonard Fleck, where can I watch the draft online? Your best bet's probably NFL.com through NFL Network or NFL Plus. If you download the NFL Plus app, you can probably do it there. But yeah, won't be showing it here. You're not seeing the Zoom link on Patreon, Chad, because it's not there. There is no Zoom tonight. There will be a Zoom tomorrow night for Friday night when the Packers actually have picks. There are no picks tonight, so I'm just hanging and drinking and making fun of the Vikings. That's what we do. I want to sponsor that ticker. That's what I'm talking about, Jeff Jones. I'll tell you what, next year, reach out. Make sure you email me. And you too could sponsor the CHTV draft ticker. That's the good stuff right there. Porkmaster says it snowed. What? I don't want to be wherever you are, man. Though it is supposed to get like gross here in the next week. It was fucking gorgeous in New York today. Absolute gorgeous day. To this evening's been wonderful. You probably hear a little faint fan in the corner there. I apologize for that, but it is warm and stuffy as hell in my studio room today. So can't be helped. But yeah, it's gorgeous in New York today. Absolutely beautiful. Hey, look at this. The Raiders taking their sweet ass time, even though we all know who they're going to pick. Oh, the pick is in. Ladies and gentlemen, they did it with only 3 minutes remaining. Incredible. I absolutely love. Doug Hype, how you doing, brother? Heard the Fonz. I mean, Ed Policy loves Carry the G. He did look very longingly at that can I held up last night. Oh, you mean this can, Aaron? Yeah, that's the can I mean. Come on, get yourself some Carry the G. In fact, you know what I feel? I think, I can't say for certain, but I think I feel a song coming on.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold, and from the land of the green and gold.
Carry the G Cream Ale, the official beer of CHTV. Yeah, that's right. That's how that works. That's how that rolls. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, let's make sure we get that ticker back up. There we go. So, totes profesh. How we doing here, folks? William James, thanks for being a Carry the G Club member. Appreciate you, man. Do you think Goody stays at 52? Go Pack Go from Northwest Montana. Random Packer, John Thierry. Wow, what a pull. At 52, do I think he stays or goes? I suspect he stays. Maybe, and I mean maybe, he jumps up in a wild fit of loving a guy who's falling in the first round and trades with John Schneider and the Seahawks. Because we know Schneider wants to drop down and get more picks. I think they only have like 4 in the draft, if I remember right. So that's one avenue where I could see it making possible sense. But I know that this is going to be a shock, but the Raiders took Mendoza. First one's on the board. Hey, let's take a look. Look at this. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's see, go like there. We can go to quarterbacks. Look at, oh, there he is. Oh, look at that. Rob did our position analysis right up on the quarterbacks. There he is. Look at that. Good stuff, right? I would play the video, but I don't want to get dinged. I know there'll be some random clip from some game that some podunk little local TV broadcast has the rights to, and they'll ding us on YouTube, and then the whole thing will get taken down. So I'm not going to do that. But you see there the measurables, as it were. And yes, with the CHTV draft guide, you get a fit with the Packers, regardless of who we're talking about or writing about. It is completely centered around the Green Bay Packers and the Green Bay Packers draft. So if you're just wondering, fit with the Packers, yeah, every single prospect gets how would they fit with the Packers? How would they fit in the Packers program, schemes, what have you? So there we go. Mendoza's off the board, people. I know. Heartbreak City. Everyone was hoping he'd fall to the Packers, but not to be. What's up, Danny? Motel Men? You heard a little Motel Men there in the intro. That's a little track I've been working on with Ben for a little bit here, just to kind of cobbled together something. Next release is coming out tomorrow. We have a single coming out, and then we have a brand new single coming out in about a month or so. So be on the lookout for that. Jeff says, remember that feeling when we drafted Aaron Rodgers? That's the Raiders today. I think it's, probably for the Raiders, it's a bit even more intense. With Rodgers, it felt very kind of split because of the Favre situation and I think, yes, because Rodgers had been touted as one of the top quarterbacks, and he might even go number 1, and then he falls to 24. And certainly there were plenty of people who were excited about it, but man, there were a lot of people who were pissed off as well. And I don't think that's quite the same there with the Raiders today. Randy, that's an excellent question. Nags, why is cornerback such a difficult position to draft? I don't know that it is, outside of the fact that the Packers haven't taken too many big swings lately, although I know their recent past is littered with guys who definitely didn't meet expectation. I do think in Green Bay they've had an issue with it. There's no doubt about it. And it's interesting to look across the landscape of the league and how some organizations are so kind of dialed in at certain positions. The Packers have been very good at finding wide receivers. I think on balance over the course of the last 20, 30 years, they've been very good at identifying and developing offensive linemen. But yeah, corner has been an issue. There's no question about it. I do think maybe possibly something along the lines of how strict they have been at times with their, thresholds and things of that nature. Miscasting guys who maybe they saw as corners but should have been safeties and vice versa. It's certainly been an issue. I will say recent vintage, though, they just haven't taken many big swings at the position. Most of the guys they've been putting out there are either, free agent kind of cast-offs from other teams or late-round picks. You had Jair and Stokes, and that was it as far as any premium assets utilized to try and bolster that position. So maybe that all changes tomorrow. Maybe they take 2 corners. It's entirely possible. I don't think the draft's going to line up that way for them, but never say never, right? Entirely possible. Soder, that's a very good point. Yes, Packers' inconsistent pass rush has hurt cornerback development in Green Bay. I think there's fairness in that statement, right? I will also say that they've done a decent job of at least applying consistent pressure throughout most of the kind of different schemes they've been through, but they certainly haven't been world beaters when it comes to getting the quarterback on the ground, getting the quarterback off the spot, things of that nature. The Jets about to make their pick here. See who they go with. Trying to see if there's updates here on any of the hundreds of places that I'm following the draft along with. Oh, they took David Bailey. All right. David Bailey to the Jets. Short Diabetic, thanks for being a Care of the G Club member. Cheers, Nags. Will you also be skipping day 3 of the draft for counseling? That whole situation makes all the 4 and 12 drama look pretty damn tame. Yeah, I don't want to belabor it too much. I know it's wildfire on the internet today, especially because of the New York Post dropping a couple new photos and then Vrabel having his presser a half hour before the draft. I feel terrible for the families. I feel terrible for the kids. I want to shake both humans, both adults that are involved and say, what the fuck are you thinking? But, the internet's going to have its fun, as it is prone to do, which is fine. But, yeah, I just feel bad for the families involved, mostly. Golden, this is a very fair question. Nags, how many Hawkeyes will the Packers acquire via draft and undrafted free agency? Going into the crystal ball here, I'm going 3. They'll draft 1, and then 2 undrafted free agents out of Iowa will become members of the Green and Gold. I will say, for whatever misgivings you may have about the Iowa program, and I sense that you are probably a supporter, but, man, they churn out football players. I'll tell you that, I got no issues with bringing in Iowa prospects into Green Bay. That's some corn-fed goodness right there that usually lands in the NFL and knows how to hit the ground running. Maybe not the highest upside, maybe not the most dynamic athletes. They know how to play fucking ball, and I am down with that. I am down with some ball players coming into Green Bay. Porkmaster, spot on, man. Man, I look at how Goot turned around the safety position in a year, and I know it's not possible, but I just want the same thing for cornerback. Fix it in a year, Goot. You'd love to see it, and that's why I say there's a real possibility that we get through this draft with at least 2, if not 3 corners selected for this very type of kind of turnaround or attempt at a turnaround. Now, you got to hit on the picks, but he certainly seems to have done that, right? I mean, remember the year he turned around this safety group, one of those additions was Xavier McKinney in free agency. I mean, that's a pretty big swing, right? But then, yeah, he nailed it drafting Evan Williams and Javon Bullard, you know? So certainly helps if you hit on your picks. That's the big component, right? But yeah, it can be done, right? And that's why it was so, I'm not going to say puzzling or disconcerting or whatever. That's why I was so curious how they decided to like mainly stick with what they got along the offensive line, because that is I mean, more so than corner. And I know everyone talks about corner, but man, offensive line is by far, to me, the biggest issue in 2025 going into 2026, needing a better, more consistent output on the field. I don't think it's anywhere close. Yeah, that is a big component there. That's Blue. What's up, Blue Saber? I kind of forgot the draft was tonight. I hear you, man. It's hard without the first round pick. You don't get as jazzed up. That's for sure. Oh, that's a fun question, Brandy. Next, how long does it take to train up rookies for an interview? Do the Packers help with that? They do eventually. Once they get in the building, they'll start giving them some kind of PR media training along that kind of line. But the initial calls, the initial interviews that you get with the prospects the night that they're drafted, obviously that's totally off the cuff. I'll never forget the best was Tucker Kraft when he got drafted. I know you guys have probably seen the video. He had been drinking pretty steadily all night, and you could tell on the phone. Yeah, he was fun, and all those guys just kind of shoot from the hips, and it's mostly, pretty standard. Like they've all had some kind of media training in college, so they know what they're doing for the most part. But yeah, the Packers will certainly help with that once they get inside the building, no doubt about it. I love that you kind of forgot the draft was tonight. That's kind of funny. Who we got here, folks? Brandy says Packers turned the linebacker position around. I think so. They've started to. I think that gets thin real quick. I like the addition of Zaire Franklin. I want to see more out of Edgerrin Cooper, though I think it's all possible. It's all there right in front of the kid. There's no doubt that they have to, keep him on the field as much as possible and utilize him in as many different ways as they can. But then you get past that, man, and it's like, okay, Isaiah McDuffie is a serviceable player. I wanted to be a lot more excited, about the depth there, but the summer came and went, and you never really saw anyone take it. Hopper looked good throughout camp, but then preseason was up and down, and then that Week 18 game in Minnesota was a real nightmare for him. So, again, I think they've got good pieces there, but I wouldn't be surprised if they continued to add at some point, maybe on day 3. We did hear Brian at the Combine talk about that was a group. He was asked point blank, which rooms do you think need the most competition? And he said cornerback and linebacker. So I suspect we will see an addition or 2 over the weekend. That would be my guess anyway. Evil Badger, how you doing, man? When will the Packers get back to draft and develop and not draft and replace? They're still doing it. They're still doing it. I just talked about this earlier this week or late last week. Cardinals pick is in. But they are very much still a draft and develop program. You just can't pay everybody. You're developing all the time. Like they're probably going to pay Christian Watson. They didn't pay Romeo Doubs. It's, at some point there is a salary cap and you got to let guys go. They're still developing. They're still drafting and developing. That's never going to stop. Yes, they let a number of guys who had been with them for 4 years walk, quite like between Quay Walker, Romeo Doubs, etc. But you're doing that because you're, you're paying certain guys, and there is a salary cap. Jeremiah Love going third overall to the Cardinals. Holy cow. Got to say, it's a little rich for my blood. These are slotted contracts. Like, they're going to pay him. Pay, pay this man as a running back in the NFL. The third overall deal. Whew, baby. I mean, I get it. He's a great player. He's a weapon. No question about it. But, man, third overall. Guess you got a new offensive-minded head coach. And we'll get to see Jeremiah Love in Green Bay for some joint practice action. LaFleur all but confirming that the Cardinals will be coming to Green Bay for the third week of the preseason and have joint practices there in Green Bay. I will be in town for that. Cannot wait. Jeremiah Love, third overall. Great player, but, man, running back at 3 in the year of our Lord 2026. I guess after the Bengals traded a 10th overall selection for a soon-to-be 29-year-old defensive tackle, all bets were off. That's crazy to me. But, hey, congrats to the kid. Captain, how are you, man? One of my favorite times of the year, CHTV draft coverage, drinking Carry the G beer, smoking a cigar in the garage. Nags, where is everyone? They'll all be here tomorrow night. Tonight it's just me. Everyone's in the chat. I'll have some folks stopping by later. But, yeah, Corey doesn't care about the draft even when the Packers are picking. So when the Packers aren't picking, he doesn't care at all. So you just get me tonight. It's like an extended Packers Daily, like a 3-hour Packers Daily. But yes, we'll have folks stopping by at some point throughout the evening. Folks you probably are familiar with. Got that. That's a good question. Are we going to see Hopper in this new base defense, or will he remain a depth piece? I think that's going to be one of the things I'm most excited to look for in training camp, because you got to think with whatever base stuff they want to run. And I know they've talked about going back to a 3-4, and the way they deploy the linebackers could kind of change depending on whoever the offense is they're facing. But you got to think, you've got your 2 edges, right? Once Micah's back, it's obviously Micah, and then let's say LVN on the other side, right? And then your 2 inside backers are most likely, Zaire Franklin and Edrin Cooper. But I would think on early downs and base looks, there's a decent chance we see a battle between Isaiah McDuffie and Tyron Hopper. And I think the Packers, will probably give them every opportunity next summer to battle that out, or this upcoming summer to battle that out. But yeah, it's going to be fun to watch how they try to mix and match at that position. And don't forget, the other thing to remember too is how much Jonathan Gannon, which I know he's suspectly real, maybe he's real, we don't know. But how much Jonathan Gannon played dime last year. He played a boatload of dime. The Packers have a number of safeties. Maybe they add a cornerback or 2 in the draft, etc. There's going to be times, there's going to be a lot of times, I think, where there's only 1 linebacker on the field. So we'll see. I mean, I know he's fluctuated throughout his time as a coordinator. So what he's done in the past is not necessarily what he's going to do in Green Bay. But, yeah, man, I don't know. The base looks are going to be few and far between, I would suspect. Although last year in Arizona, not his entire time, but last year in Arizona, he ran a ton of dime and a bunch of base and very little nickel. So, it's like if there's an opportunity, it's in base. And I do think it's going to be dependent on the opponent, what stuff they like to run. If they are a button-it-up, power run type team, yeah, I think Hopper and McDuffie have some opportunities there. But if it's a team that likes to throw it around the yard, tries to get horizontal with speed, I can't imagine putting McDuffie or Hopper out there, even on first down. Oh, what else we got? Jason, how are you, man? Who will David Bailey be playing for in 3 years? Let's be nice. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. Could be anybody. I'm rooting for the young man. Look, I know he's going into a historically tough spot, but let's give the kid some time here. Evil Badger, it's a fine question. What are the odds they announce the schedule release date tonight? I don't know about tonight, maybe on Saturday, towards the end of the draft. And we talked to Ed Policy yesterday on Packer Transplants. He said it would be in a few weeks, like 3 weeks. So hopefully soon. I hate that they draw this stuff out. Used to be you got the schedule before the draft, a couple weeks before the draft, and then they moved it to the week before the draft. Now they did it. Then they did it like a week after the draft, and now they do it like a month after the draft. I hate it. Thanks. I hate it. Love was born in 2005. Jeez. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to feel real old if you look up DOBs on these guys. Don't do it. I very much hope not to do it. Oh, look at this. Oh, we got Michael out here with the CHTV draft guide having a party with his kids. They got a whole draft board in their living room. That's dope as hell. I love to see it. Jonathan Ghost Gannon. I like it. Oh, Adam. Excellent question. Have you ever had the pleasure to meet Art Daly? Do you have any fun stories of him? He and his wife were at my wedding, my wife's side, and he held court telling Vince Lombardi stories. Only in passing, have never really had a like sit down moment with him. I wish I had, but no, unfortunately. I've had a number of like great conversations with a bunch of folks in the building throughout the years, but unfortunately, Art and I never really connected. What else we got here, folks? Compton, what's up? The draft seems to be moving right along. I like 8 minutes per pick. It's about right for the first round. Totally agree. And what stinks is like I don't understand why it took so long for them to get to it. Like everyone knew this stuff was way too drawn out for years. And they kept it at hell, it used to be 15. It used to be 15 minutes. Can you imagine that? I'm sure you can, but it used to be 15 minutes. That's insanity. Carnell Tate went to the Titans. Okay, I like that. He's a talented young man. He's got a great young quarterback to play with. That's some fun stuff. You like when the youngsters, the phenoms, get to play together. That's good stuff. Ken, how are you? Thanks for the support, brother. Do you think Goody is getting in a good nap this evening? Doubtful. I think they're following their normal process, and that's what he said at his draft press conference, and that's all the news that's fit to print. They're all in the building. They're all working. You know, they're in the draft. They are legit in the draft room. You know, so just in case, maybe someone calls with a proposal about jumping up. It's all nonsense. But yeah, no, they are working. They're working. Wait, why can't I? Oh, I gotta get that. Hold, please. I gotta get this one. There we go. Got that. Oh, look at that. That works. Got that. All right. Okay, good. They're getting shit faced. Man, maybe. I doubt it. If you know those folks at 1265 in the personnel group, they're not a party bunch. Let's say that. Jerry, what's up, man? Lots of fun rumors that won't come true at all. Yeah, there's a ton of that. A boatload of that. No question about it. That's kind of just the NFL draft, right? Each and every year. That's kind of just how it rolls, which I understand. The Giants pick is in. Let's go. We got the Giants, Chiefs, Commanders, and Saints in the next 4 picks. The Giants pick is in. Let's see what we got here, folks. Look at this. I got so much technology at my fingertips here. It's just disconcerting. Very disconcerting. Oh, no. Hood and Bismarck, take care of yourself, man. NFL draft is cool and all, but I'm ducking a tornado here in Des Moines. Dude, take care of yourself. Don't be watching my rinky-dink stream. Go, be well, be safe. Give us an update later. Hope you're well. APN non-updating ticker, great addition. My guy, you want to program it? You come on over here and you do it. Dog, it's just the order. It says right at the start it's the order. You gonna be okay? You gonna be all right? All right, fine. You don't like the ticker? You don't like that ticker? Look at this. Oh, extolling the virtues of Brian Gutekunst. Oh, is that better? No, you're probably a Goody hater too. So, but look at that, buddy. We got more than one ticker. That's right. We're ready for you. Ready for your vitriolic nonsense, troll central. Let's do it, baby. Hood, you're welcome, brother. Hope you're doing well. Ooh, Bears going edge tonight? I suspect so if the value's right. They desperately need pass rush. We saw that all throughout last season. Saw it through most of the Packers games, except for the cheap shots on Love. But, yeah, I would be surprised if they didn't. Again, if it makes sense on the board as far as the value of the player. But the one of the NFC North kind of selections tonight, I think the one foregone conclusion is the Vikings are taking a safety, right? But that's neither here nor there. We shall see. Chat. Nags, you sounded like you lost a small piece of your soul when you announced you're covering all 3 days of the draft on Transplants. Well, at least it's not live on Saturday. I'm live tonight and tomorrow, but on Saturday, it's just producing video. That's all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together. We got someone joining us here. We got Mr. Pete Doherty, Green Bay Press Gazette, in the house. Pete, how you doing, brother?
Good. Do we have an audience tonight with no pick?
Well, there are people here. They're chiming in on the chat, and it's just there's no gallery this evening. That will be tomorrow when the Packers do have selections. But we're still, Pete, it is football-ish. So we got to stream it. We got to talk about it. We got to basically make fun of the NFC North teams, and that's generally what we're doing. Are you in the new bowels of Lambeau Field in the new media area?
I am. I'm not in the Gannett office because Tom Silverstein is in there doing his running chat that he does. But,
Right.
Just one of the group offices.
Very good.
Yeah, it was just 8. Everybody else is back upstairs. On the 5th floor that's where they, just like in the draft, that's where they have the food. But man, it is a long haul from the media auditorium and the offices. They're all in one spot.
Oh, no.
To the locker room. So after games, there is no
it's gonna be a challenge.
There's no going to the podium and then the locker room. By the time you get there, the locker room will be empty.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm anxious to
exaggerating a little bit, but not much.
I hear you.
It's a long haul.
So what are you thinking here? Are you talking about, an NFL draft where the Packers don't have a first-round selection for the first time in living memory, essentially? Has it changed your approach at all? I know we've heard from Goody about this quite a bit. Have you dug in as much as many of the prospects, et cetera, talk to scouts, whatever, or have you kind of been able to maybe do a little less on the top guys, or how have you approached it?
I did less. Yeah, I did less on the top guys, but I was just studying a different group of guys, this time. And that's all. So yeah, sense. Like the first rounders, like some of the top 15 guys, I barely know their names.
I know.
All I know is by what school they went to.
Essentially, right?
Yeah, I didn't see. Did you make I didn't see a pick by you anywhere. Did you make a pick?
You know me, I ain't making no picks. They're going to be new Green Bay Packers, and I'm going to root for them, and that's it. And look, Pete, I gave up hoping for guys a long time ago because all you do is get your heart crushed. I do my draft crush video. I got 5 guys I like. More often than not, they don't take them. So that's where I'm at. But what about you? What do you think as far as how this draft lines up tomorrow for the Packers? And it's interesting. You talk about, you're studying basically a different group of guys. it's interesting how the 30 visits looked a little different this year. There were a bunch more kind of late 6th, 7th rounds / undrafted free agent types. I suspect, man, like you heard Goody talk about how many people they had already on the roster. Like I think you said it was they're at 74 or whatever. You saw them make the 3 cuts, right, last Friday. I suspect we're going to get a pretty robust undrafted free agent class. It would be after a few years of not having it be very heavy.
Yeah, and with a small class and no first rounder, this will be an attractive place for guys to go to. Also, if you're undrafted, especially if you're a cornerback. So yeah, it's I was talking with a GM yesterday, and he had one year where he didn't have a first round pick. I said, "So what was it like?" And he goes, "I was bored."
Yeah, well, I can't deny that. It's taking the juice out of it a little bit. That is for sure.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did you go to Brazil? Were you at the Brazil game?
I did not.
You did not, because we had a question here in the chat about favorite memories from Brazil, but I'll hold on to that because I made the trip. I couldn't remember if you were there.
I went to London. I did not go to Brazil.
That was a long flight, Pete.
Yeah.
That was a very long.
I've got to do that. The reason I didn't go is I've got to do the film review with Eric Baranchek the next day.
Right.
And like in London, I had to get up, after just a couple hours sleep and talk to him. And then I had to transcribe and write that on the plane. And it was just kind of a miserable experience.
Yes.
And I was, I'm an old guy, man. I was wiped out when I got home. So I just said, because we only send 2 on these international trips. So I just said, I'll take this one off.
So we've got the Giants just took Arvell Reese, and then the Chiefs traded up, and their pick is in. I'm interested to see who the Chiefs traded up for.
Huh?
They certainly did. They just made the selection. Very interested to see. I mean, you talk about it's interesting to look at the year the Chiefs had as far as 2 years ago, they won all those close games, right? They won, I think it was on about like 6 or 7 one-score games. And then you get to the early part of last year, and they're losing all those close one-score games. And that really came to bite them, right? They don't even make the playoffs. And I know there's been a lot of talk about LaFleur and squeaking into the playoffs, et cetera. But that kind of illustrates to me how tough it is. And people say, oh, the 7th, seed has made it, quote, easier. But it's not that. It's not like it's automatic. Like you still have to do the work, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's open, that 7 spots open to all those other teams,
Exactly.
And because I checked on this and, I can't remember now. I wrote about it probably a month ago or 3 weeks ago, but there's only it was just 2 or 3 teams that have made the playoffs each of the last 3 years. The Packers were one of them, and
not easy.
I think the other one might have been the Steelers, if you can believe that.
Yeah, I actually can.
Yeah,
it's funny how the Steelers and Packers are almost not exactly mirror images of each other, but
they're very similar.
They're similar in how they operate. Like until recently, anyway.
They're all about continuity, stability,
right?
Making sound decisions, all that stuff. Yeah, and they're smaller markets.
Absolutely. Speaking of, we were just talking about LaFleur and making the playoffs, etc. I haven't spoken to you, at least not in public, about Policy's decision to bring the trifecta back in Gutekunst, LaFleur, and Ball. We spoke with Policy yesterday on Packer Transplants, and he kind of reinforced his decision-making around LaFleur and bringing him back. Were you surprised that he did it? Because I know, Tom, your colleague, wrote a column about how it was time to move on. There were a couple other folks on the beat who also very publicly said it was time to move on from LaFleur. Were you surprised that Policy, to hear him tell it, had not only no misgivings about it, but it had already decided before that playoff game?
Yeah, that Ian Rappaport report, turns out that was true, right? He probably got it right from Policy, I'll bet.
I'll bet, yes. Right.
Just a little bit, going into the last couple of weeks of the season, I thought he's definitely going to be back. That's, he's coming back. And then with the way they lost twice to the Bears, especially the playoff game, and just the way it went, I thought, man, this I could see this costing him his job. It was just so grim, the vibe.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, in the press box and in the locker room. So by the time that game was over and that, the first couple of days, I was thinking, I was kind of waiting for the news to break,
Right.
But obviously the longer, once as it carried on, then you knew that there weren't going to be any changes. But if I would have had to bet the night of the game, the night after the game, I would have bet that they'd have made a change. But I mean, I totally get why they didn't. I think LaFleur's a good coach. And I just kind of assume this extension basically bought, it's basically he and Gutekunst have 2 years.
That's exactly what I think.
To get, to take this team farther than it's gone the last 3.
Yeah, I think especially given how it's funny, the obvious window is Parsons' contract, right? As far as in 2 years, they have to address it again. Like the way it's set up, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
But on top of that, there's also a moment in Jordan Love's contract in 2 years. But they're probably going to have to address that. So it feels like, this is the window here. And they thought they had a 3-year, and then Micah got hurt. And obviously he'll probably start on PUP. I don't suspect he'll play the first 4 games. But, I would suspect, this is a 2-year window for them to kind of finish what they started, so to speak. Especially when you look at how dramatic the change was from trading Aaron Rodgers and going as young as they did. And then, making the playoffs, and winning that game in Dallas. And I think that kind of reset expectations a little bit faster than they expected. But I totally agree with you. I think this is you've got 2 years to do a lot more than you've done the last couple of years.
Yeah. And they've got this, not once in a lifetime, but this, very rare defensive player.
Yes.
And he's right in his prime. So you want to get the most out of that. I think Love's a good quarterback, and I think the arrow's still pointing up. So I could see I could see a lot of improvement in him still in the next couple of years. But like he needs to play like a veteran, a good veteran now, because he is. He's got 3 full years in. I think they're going to be good. Things have to break right, and you got to get better as the season goes. You got to play. You got to play good football in January. Obviously, and so, being healthy will make a big difference if they are. But if you're picking 7 or 8 teams who've got a chance, I think they've got to be considered in that group.
All right, I'm going to try and do this. I don't know if it's going to work, but look at this. Look at this kind of craziness we have here. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're going triple box here.
It's the newly promoted Wes Hodkowitz.
It is the newly promoted Wes Hodkowitz.
And see, here's the thing. I had sourced information on that and was told that it was not to be released. And here I find out that you're taking my scoop.
Dude, it was on the Packers LinkedIn.
I know.
That's public info. What are we going to do?
I deleted my LinkedIn because I got tired of prospective college journalists wanting me to tell them how to take my job. So I'm done with helping you people. That's all LinkedIn's turned into is college kids trying to get you to, hey, can you help me get into the business?
Yeah, sure thing. That's like, the old proverbial veteran taking the rookie under their wing. Like, you got to help coach them up.
Rob doesn't do that.
No, I'm not.
Well, a lot easier to understand at our age, Rob, the Joe Montana, Brett Favre view of this thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Those guys had it right.
They most certainly. It's not in my contract. Not in my contract. Definitely not.
Brett was right about that. Nowhere in my contract does it say I have to help this guy.
I love it. So we got Rob, we got Wes, and we got it looks like we got the whole beat coming in here.
Oh boy.
We got Schneidman in the house. What's going on, boys?
He asked me to come on. I figured we'd do a 3-for-1.
Yeah, it all works. It all works.
I was asked to do one of those once, but
Easy. I don't want to have you having to do a press conference.
Here's your thumbnail there, Aaron.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. So wait, the beat here. What are we all thinking? Do we have picks made? Rob, I know you were given a reprieve from ESPN because the Packers don't have a first-round pick, but have you guys made public selections? Have you made declarations of who you think is going to be there at 52, etc.?
Pete
should start.
Nobody even cares. Everybody keeps asking me, "Hey, Pete, who?"
I asked the same question about 10 minutes ago upstairs. 5 minutes after that, West asked the next question.
I'm like,
apparently
hey,
it was
thanks
in
for
print
reading, guys.
I guess we missed it.
But that's in tomorrow's paper, right, Pete?
So at least Aaron, at least now people will know who I picked since nobody's reading it. But I went with Akis, the edge guy from Illinois.
Ooh, an edge.
I made a pick on WBAY's cover 2, for which I am paid for.
Very good.
I'm not paid for this, but
Wait, is that your way of asking for a salary? Is that what you're trying to do here? You're trying to get
I picked the defensive tackle from Texas Tech,
Lee Hunter?
Lee Hunter.
Ooh, I love that. Although the draft nerds don't like him. So, bad pick. Sorry. What about you, Schneidman?
I think in my last mock they make us do a couple. I went with Dunker, the O lineman from Iowa.
Oh, the
I just
mullet.
think
The mullet.
the guy with the red
Red
mullet.
hair, yeah.
The red mullet. It seems like one of those drafts where Goody's going to take multiple alignment. I think he's done that in 5 of the last 6 drafts.
I absolutely love that. I would actually love that pick. What about you, Wes? Are you allowed to do this, or is it against your programming?
I got Matthew
Scrolling
Golden.
through his insider inbox.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly all the tackles I talked about. So basically, the guy that I'm absolutely in love with is Chris Johnson.
Right.
Yes, I actually was a huge Chris Johnson fan.
427, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge Chris Johnson fan. I really like Chris Johnson. I totally understand he's not going to be there at 52. He may not be there at 33. But that's kind of the one I had my eye on. The board for cornerback is really interesting. It's very because I look at it, and you got the Indiana kid who has kid has all these intangibles. Actually, that's I'm talking. Go grab another chair. Bring her on in here. But
They got all kinds of new chairs in this fancy work.
It looks so sweet. I can't wait. Although Pete tells me there's a lot of walking involved.
Aaron,
It's very far away.
Aaron, I got to cut everybody off here because I've got to let you know that maybe the most upset I've ever been as a journalist
Oh boy, here we go.
was in 2016.
My
I don't
first year on the
think
beat.
Wes wasn't even on the beat yet, I don't think.
6 feet.
Yeah, he was. Of course he
Wasn't
was. That was my first year on the beat. Of
All
course
right.
Wes was on the beat.
It all runs together.
Yeah, naturally.
So I grind through the draft.
It was 2013. By the way,
Oh, Bonnie Holiday.
no.
No,
They
it
told you the same thing.
was
Bonnie
2016.
Holiday was 98.
It was
Yeah.
2016, and
All right.
2016, they drafted Kenny Clark, and I worked for the Packers, Pete.
Portmaster says Wes wasn't even born yet.
No, you were. So you were you covering the Packers for the Press Gazette?
Let him tell the story. Go ahead.
So anyway, I grind through trying to figure out who they're going to draft. I mean, it's just, and the more people, when you get up to the last couple of days, the more people in the league I'd talk to, the more confused I'd get because they all have different opinions on these guys.
Right.
And like back in February, Wes goes, they're going to draft Kenny Clark. And I swear that had to have been one of your first years on the beat, Wes, because it was like, I was like, this guy didn't do any work. Now he thinks this is the easiest thing in the world. And I think he's 0-4 since then, by the way.
No,
I got Matthew Golden right last year, bro.
there
What's
you go.
that?
You
I got
Golden.
Matthew Golden last year.
Did you publicly declare it?
It's not. It doesn't
I
matter.
did it on here too.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. There you go.
Oh, you're two for about
2 for
10
20.
or 11 then, that's actually pretty good.
That's
Better than Rob, I'll tell you that.
Okay, so can I interject, Pete?
Yes.
It was 2013. The Packers drafted Dayton Jones.
Oh, was it?
I made a joke to Pete, and it was the most angry he's ever been probably at me.
That's right. It was Dayton Jones.
Because-
It wasn't Kenny Clark.
Because Pete picked Eddie Lacy in the first round.
Yeah.
Who they
So then
took.
me, all
in the
high and
second.
mighty, walking around, king, you know what? I'm like, hey, Pete, it's really awesome, though. Between the two of us at Green Bay Press Gazette, PackersNews.com, we got 2 Packers picks right. Yours just happened to come one
day
round later.
Yeah, just like when me
For
and
the
McGinn,
record, though,
me and
just so I
McGinn picked
can protect my
Kenny Peterson.
credibility here a little bit, Pete, I had heard from people that I had talked to. I didn't talk to everybody across the league, thankfully, because it probably would have messed me up. But I had heard that they actually did have real interest in Dayton Jones. That's why I did it. And they needed a pass rushing 5-10.
They definitely needed an inside guy. So I just assumed you pulled it out of the air.
Like
That
he
was
does
the rest
most of
my
his work.
reporting. That one I was locked in on.
I thought Pete was going to tell the story about when he was doing his draft prep and he was on the phone with one of his best sources. I still to this day don't know who it was, but a coach or a scout. And I got an angry circulation call to the Press Gazette for some reason, our desks were right next to each other, across from each other at the Press Gazette. And all the people who didn't get their papers, for some reason, those calls all came to the sports department. I don't know why, but I answer the phone and this guy's like, I didn't get my paper. And Pete, we're talking this little headset, so the microphone's basically pointed more at me.
I remember that.
Him. And the guy said, "Sir, I'm sorry. Let me transfer you to circulation." "I don't want to be transferred." I'm like, "Well, you've got the sports department. If you don't want me to transfer you, I'll give you their direct number. Maybe you just push the wrong." "I don't want to be. I want it done." And he's going on. And finally, I just go, and I won't use the word, but I finally just go. He does again. He's like, "I didn't get my paper," and I finally go, "Well, what the F do you want me to do about it?" And Pete, the guy on the phone with Pete, apparently stops talking. And what did he say, Pete?
He just didn't. It just went. He was right in the middle of a sentence, and it went dead silent. I mean, I was kind of leaned over. Rob might as well have just screamed it right into the microphone, And the guy just went dead silent. And I went, "Hey, sorry about that. A colleague of mine is having a meltdown." He said, "Okay."
Make matters worse. I don't know if it was a few months before or a few months after, Pete got some commendation employee of the month goofy award because he hand delivered somebody's paper who didn't get it. And I look like the even bigger of a jerk.
I'm trying to set a good example for everybody in the newsroom, and you got this guy.
So this was in the early days of instant messaging, interoffice computer, and I get this message from the editor at the time. Her name was Amber. And she messaged me, "That better not have been a subscriber." And I replied back, "Well, not anymore. He's not." And so I walk over to her desk and I take out $1. I assume the paper probably cost $1.
Like 99
I put
cents,
the dollar
right?
on her desk and I said, "For the rest of my time that I'm working here, I'll give you $1 every day for costing us that thing." I did it for about a week. And next week she came back and threw my money back at me and said, "Don't do it again."
I can't imagine that's the first or only time your temper has caused waves with your employer, Rob. I feel pretty confident in saying that.
It's just a storm that you have to weather. We all take a little bit of it.
Yeah, I've mellowed a lot since.
Yeah.
This is the calm version of.
I know. Well, there's no Packers pick tonight, so there's no pressure. There's no deadline. We got nothing to worry about.
I came in my pajamas today.
Unless they trade up. Schneidman, are you so happy that you don't have to deal with any of this nonsense in your past? I know you have a journalistic background and have certainly worked your way up from Syracuse, etc. But the fact that you can come in fresh and not have to have all this baggage with the group, it must give you an advantage at some point.
No, I've probably built up some baggage over the last 7 years. It's almost 7 years I've been here now. I've never really been like maybe it's just because I'm a shit reporter, but I've never really gotten into like the whole draft guessing just because there's so much information flying around. I'm not very good at like getting information outside the draft either, but the draft projections seem particularly useless just because you're always going to be wrong. And I mean, look, Goody specifically, I think keeps this place on lockdown. Like,
you are not lying.
There are no real tells. These pre-draft pressers are always so used. And look, I like dealing with Goody. He's a perfectly fine guy, but the pre-draft pressers are so useless. And I mean, they just try not to reveal anything, which is how they should do it. They have no reason to tell us. But yeah, I think these guys right here and a couple other guys out there have helped me not have any baggage over the last 7 years. I don't think, actually, I shouldn't say I don't have any beef on the beat, but we don't need to discuss that.
Well, okay, we're not airing dirty laundry. We don't want, you guys, I'm sure we'll work out that behind
Speaking of Goody not letting things get out, like Matt said, I'm surprised he let Ed Policy come on your show the other day.
Well, that's not Goody's call, is it?
That's Jason Waller's decision, not a Goody
I'm
decision.
kidding.
It was. I will say it kind of struck me in the moment. I almost went after him about the fact that we haven't heard from Jonathan Gannon yet, simply because I've never really gotten a chance to like talk live to Waller's boss, which is essentially, I mean, he's everybody's boss in that building. So it did cross my mind that I should kind of get after him about it, but. I don't want to. That's the first time I've ever spoken to the man. So
the people are angry about not hearing from Jonathan Gannon. The people are angry.
I will say I'm not angry. I just it's frustrating that
weird.
You tout yourself as the team owned by the fans, and the fans clearly want to hear from him. And like legitimately, we sent people to the moon and back, and we still haven't heard from this guy. Like it's just weird to me. It's just, and the other fact that, like, I think there's some decent questions that could be asked. I mean, the fact that he punched one of his players last year, be nice to hear from him on that subject, maybe, other than a, scripted thing for Packers.com. No offense, Wes. Excellent work. Always great stuff. But,
Well, speaking of Packers.com, so there are a lot of teams around there who will bring in their free agent signings and put them on a Zoom or whatever.
Yep.
Act your age. Come on.
Oh, he is. Oh, he is.
They'll put them on a Zoom or whatever. And even when guys reported for OTAs this week, there were players available.
Right.
Who they have? St. Juste, Hargrave, Zaire Franklin, who I just briefly traded messages with because we go back about a decade. But Cam Achor, Jonathan Gannon, any of the new assistant coaches. I don't even know if they exist at this point.
Yep.
I was told, look, I'm ragging on the PR staff because I think they do a good job and I've enjoyed working with them. But
very good job.
Well, I actually believe that. So this is more of a joke at Jason Waller's, but I was told that the schedules were too tight to get any guys, and then we see them all having sit downs with Larry, which Larry should get the priority because he's put in 50 years of work here. But there's always time to hop on a quick.
No, but it was. I was also going to say it's interesting. I mean, you talk maybe we all just need to work harder because Bill Huber had a number of sit downs with a bunch of these guys apparently. So I guess every man for himself at some point. All I know is it's good to have the manager of digital content strategy for the Green Bay Packers here to hear some of these complaints. Yeah, it's good.
Aaron, where are all the other people that are usually on this? Like, we don't have.
They're in the chat. They will be here live on camera in the Zoom call as per usual tomorrow when the Packers actually have selections.
I mean, I love you.
Maybe I'll try to.
I like
come
this
back
better.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was kind of awkward when everyone's like kind of staring at you and then being like, it's just, I like this.
It's good.
I love all you in the chat and everybody, and I want to talk to all you, but it was like me and Rob, and then Rob would be cracking.
Bunch of folks.
Yeah.
Well, they'll all be here tomorrow, and if you can come back, that'd be great. If you can't, totally get it. Totally understand.
When they trade up from 52 to 39, that might be.
What do you think the chances are? I'd love to get all your thoughts on this because I do know that, like, at the start of every Friday night on the draft, it's always kind of like, oh, who's going to trade up? Because it happens a lot. I'm not going to say it happens every year, but it does occur quite a bit. And I got to think if there is a player or two that Goody's really hot on, I don't think it's impossible.
So did they trade when they picked? Was it Watson at 33?
Watson. Yeah, Watson was the one they jumped up for.
They traded to Devontae.
They were trying to trade to 32.
32 with the
Vikings,
right?
Didn't want to give up the ability to pick up the fifth-year option on that safety they took from Georgia.
Okay. Yep. So when did that trade? When did they move to 33? Then that was it?
That was 17. You're talking about 2017. Where they traded back.
No. The Watson pick, they were at 30.
No.
They were at like 40 something. And 53.
They traded up. They took a big swing. It was.
Did that happen like right as the draft started, or did that happen earlier in the day?
No, it was like
right as the second round started.
Right, well, like 2 picks in, I think. Like 1 or 2 picks in.
Gotcha. I just couldn't remember the timing. Basically, what I'm trying to find out is if it's going to if they trade up, it's going to interrupt my golf tomorrow afternoon before I come here.
You're going to get here at 7.
Well, I'm going to play.
It starts at 6. You'll be all
right. I'm going to play, but I know I'm going to play golf at 10:30. If they do a trade at 12:30, I'm in trouble.
They'll do it. They'll do
it when it's on the clock. They won't do it before.
Yeah, Aaron, I'll answer that question though, because here's my prediction. I'm very interested to see if Brian can actually sit and take at 52. I'm very interested to see that. If they don't trade up, I'm very curious then if they end up trading out of the 3rd round. Like, I'm curious. One of those two, I just feel like there's going to be movement with the way Brian's done this thing.
Yeah, I feel the same way you do because it doesn't feel like I can't remember a time predominantly when he's just sat still.
Yeah.
Like it's almost if he's got ammo, he's usually moving.
They didn't trade Did they trade last year? They did they? No trades?
No trades last year.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just think
maybe they're due.
Having those, you don't have a million needs to fill this year. So I think with having 11 picks next year, getting that extra 6th rounder from the Wicks trade, getting a comp pick in 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th probably next year. I think Goody was implying when he talked to us earlier this week that he'd be more than willing to move up, I don't know, 10 to 15 spots this year because of what they have next year. Because look, next year you have Watson and Reed in contract years. I ultimately think they keep both, but they might just keep Watson. They're not going to let Watson go. If anyone walks, it's going to be Reed. Both Nixon and Valentine are in contract years. Like next year is probably more so the draft where they need to replenish some starters.
Tucker and
so they have 8 right now, right?
Yeah.
They could conceivably trade up once, trade back once, and still have end up with the same number of picks. But part of me thinks they might come away with maybe net gain of 1 or 2 more.
My prediction was 10 picks.
Yeah.
I said I think they make 10 picks.
10 sounds right. I mean, Goody's got to replenish. That's the other part of this. It's like you talk about, Matt, you're talking about all those picks they have next year. To me, that's the big kind of, remember, I think it was, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago where there was back-to-back seasons where they had they took 13 or 14 and then they took 11 or 12 the next year. Like they've got to kind of replenish the cheap labor, so to speak, at some point. I think that's what next year points to with all those picks. But then again, it's an ability to maneuver too. It's currency.
To Matt's point about, the receivers, I mean, they basically traded, a guy in Wicks in the last year of his contract to essentially, if they take a receiver, to get a guy who has 4 more years at that.
4 years of control, right?
Yeah. So, I think Matt's point about the receivers is well said.
They weren't going to extend Wicks anyway. No. Goody said that the other day, basically in as many words. So it'll be interesting to see what they at corner. Nixon and Valentine, you probably have to keep one of those guys because let's say they take a corner tomorrow. Is he going to be your number 1 next year? At receiver, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do because, you would think they're going to keep both, but you can't let both go. If you keep only one, I think you keep Watson, but it'll be interesting to see. These are all the things you discuss when the team you cover doesn't have a pick tonight.
Precisely. Well, gentlemen, I thank you all. I don't want to keep you. I know you're all working, even though you're chilling.
Pete, would you like to say something? You've been just sitting here. I feel bad now. Pete's been up there in that box for the last 10 minutes.
Pete was yapping for hours before you got here. You're all good.
I'm learning from you gentlemen, so this is good.
Sensei. Aren't you guys right down the hall from each other?
Just traded up from the pick that the Packers gave them from 20 to 11.
The Cowboys move? Yeah, I did say earlier I expected them to jump up.
Yeah, I don't know. Who are they going to take? Come on. Who am I
They're going to take a wide receiver. I can't believe the Saints took Jordan Tyson. Holy cow.
Mike, do you guys need to take a quarterback, or do you think Aaron's coming back?
Quarterback, I think Aaron Rodgers got a lot coming back. I don't know when it's going to be. Maybe it'll be training camp. But Aaron Rodgers, hell of a quarterback.
Are you guys upset? Are you guys upset that they went to Pittsburgh last year and not this year? Go see Mike. That would have been great.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
He's a legend.
We saw Mike in Phoenix.
Yeah, we had a good time.
I don't know him, but seems like a nice guy.
The best. Absolutely love it. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Man,
have a great night. Hopefully see you tomorrow.
We'll be
well.
See you, Aaron.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Have a good night. Look at that. Half beat by. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Not indeed. All right. Thanks for Ken. Love the tick. Thanks, brother. I worked hard on them. Well, I worked hard on 2 of them. Tyler worked hard on 1 of them. There's 3 total. So appreciate you, brother. Fausty, how you doing, man? You reckon Goody watches the Costner "I want my picks back" scene to psych himself up for draft day? I don't know. I'm with whoever said he probably watches Lord of the Rings. If I was a general manager, I would watch the Rohirrim scene in Return of the King over and over and over again. That's what I would do. Jerry, how are you, sir? My fiance didn't make a draft board or even scout the prospects. Is she even a fan? Suspect, man. You got to keep your eye on that one. That's what you got to do. Evil Badger, what's up? I'd take D-back over Kittle in a beer chugging contest. Kittle is so slow chugging. Well, that's the random meter has reached fish, but yeah, I somewhat agree with you there. 100% agree that taking all. There are a bunch of dudes. Bakhtiari. Damn impressive. Porkmaster, I love it. If you're doing a Mike McCarthy impression, you have to click your tongue to buy time with an answer. Aaron Rodgers. I like it. All right, let's catch up on the draft, shall we? Or I know you're all probably following along. I'm going to see what's been going on here. Cowboys have jumped up to 11. What is that? Is that a wide receiver, do we think? Let's see. Let's go. Jonathan Gannon is a myth. It might be. He very well may be. Jim, what's up? That was the best. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you, Jim, for your support and for being here and for hanging out. But yes, all those guys on the beat are the absolute best. Absolutely love it. Complicated fellow, what's going on? Jerry trading with former Packers assistant GM. That works. Hey, whatever gets the job done, right? Oh, brandy. Oh my gosh. Talk about a Sophie's choice here. Nags, fish fry at home with the family or trolls? Damn. Most likely fish fry at home with the family. But ooh, that's a tough one. I would love it's hard to turn down Kroll. I'm always up for some Krolls. Definitely. Defense for Dallas. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? What do we got, folks? Don't want to miss it. Two incomprehensible decisions in the top 6. I don't see the pick yet for Dallas. I need to get it. Come on now. We're tipping picks here, by the way. I ain't waiting for nothing. So if I see it, I'm talking about it. And if you hate it, then you should definitely not watch. Len Beebe, how are you, sir? Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. Nags, I got 2 carry the G's on ice for tomorrow's Zoom. Go Pack Go. That's right, brother. I got 1 tonight, and I got 2 left for tomorrow night. Salute. You got to stretch that carry the G as far as you can. You know what I mean? I take my grandma over kettle. Okay, William. All right. Relax. Jeff, excellent question. Have we seen the war room photo yet? Not yet. I suspect they'll wait till tomorrow when they actually have selections. Let me check my email just in case, because the Packers do email us once they do it. But I have not yet seen it. So nope, nothing yet. War room photo probably tomorrow night. We asked policy about it last night on transplants. Big moment. Got to be ready for your close-up. Jerry, thanks again, man. I'm eating way too many Otter Pops for draft snack. Well, you guys are lucky. I had a late dinner, so I ain't eating on camera. That is usually a problem with draft coverage because it does go on for so long that, whoo, baby, yeah, you tend to get pretty damn hungry as the hours drag on. But no problem with that tonight. Complicated fellow. I was hoping the Motel Men would play a set during the draft tonight, since the Pack ain't picking tonight. Coming to Mile of Music this summer. So if you're in the Appleton area, Green Bay, Appleton area, Motel Men will be playing. Come on out. Always a good time. Oz is here. What's up, Oz? Good to see you, buddy. I guess you just woke up. That's good. The Packers don't pick till tomorrow, though, buddy. You can go back to sleep. I kid. It's great to see you. Caleb Downs is the pick for the Cowboys. The safety out of Ohio State. Damn good player. Man, they jumped up for Caleb Downs. Can understand it given how poor their defense was last year. They need all the help they can get on that side of the ball. Probably still need help when it comes to the pass rush. If they had a generational pass rusher on their team. But Caleb Downs, the newest member of the Dallas Cowboys. And he looks very excited to be it. Dolphins now on the clock. And then we have the Rams, and then the Ravens. So moving along here, we're 11 picks in. That's not terrible after an hour 14. I'll make that work. Caleb Downs, good player. Not complicated. I wonder if Elliot Wolf is pulling the reins for this draft. I would suspect he was probably going to do most of the heavy lifting anyway, but certainly given circumstances now, yeah, I would not be surprised. Brandy, my draft is on mute, so I just boo Goodell in my head. That works. Are you Downs on the pick for Dallas? Get it? No, I am not. Actually, you know what I got to do? This reminds me. Give me 2 seconds. It's a stream, so hey, talk amongst yourselves. But I do got to grab something and put it in the chat here. A link for something. If you guys know and remember, there's been a guy who has been in this chat for years, and I mean years. A guy named Johnny Rivers. That's his handle. I don't know his real name, but he has been chatting here at Cheesehead TV for literally years. I mean, he's been on the streams, he's been in the chats, he's a long-time supporter, chatter. You guys have probably seen him in and out of the chat on daily, etc. He recently had a catastrophic fire at his home and essentially just lost everything. Now he's got a little bit of insurance helping a little bit. But needless to say, the man needs some help. And I'm putting this link from that his family put together a GoFundMe to help him kind of get back on his feet. And I want to put this out there in case anybody had just even the slightest bit, $2, $3, $5 that you can throw his way. The guy, like I said, been with us for a very long time, has been a active, really involved chat supporter here on Cheesehead TV. And anything we can do to help, just want to throw it out there for all of you to help as well. But I won't belabor the point, but man, I read that and I got choked up, man. It sucks. Shit like that can happen in the blink of an eye, and then suddenly your whole life is different. I've had moments like that, not that specific thing, happen to me at times throughout my life. No, I could have used the support. So anything we can do, man. Anything we can do, Packers fans. They're in the chat on YouTube. All right, the Dolphins have made their selection, so that's good. We're 12 picks in. We'll see. Why can't we just do 2 rounds on Thursdays? They like having that first round soloed up and, completely owning prime time for 2 nights. I wish we could go back to the weekend drafts. It was the absolute best. The weekend drafts were everything that was good. I remember just nights after night in those kind of, early days of the draft kind of growing in New York. You would just lose yourself for a weekend and have just a ton of fun. All right, here we go. Got that there. Hold on, let me put that here. Okay, boys and girls, there we go. Just making sure you all get the link since some are saying they can't see it. There you go. Should be in your chat now. Caden Proctor, the mammoth offensive tackle, going to the Miami Dolphins. John Eric Sullivan's first selection as general manager of the Miami Dolphins, helping protect his young quarterback. Love to see that, man. Malik Willis, I want you to ball out all year, have a great season, except whenever the week is that they come to Lambeau Field. That's when we need to destroy them. But other than that, I hope it's amazing. I hope it's incredible. Jeff says, Pittsburgh draft looks too corporate and polished. I don't disagree, man. It does look like it's got a little less soul to it, a little less fun. But if you need fun, Well, we got someone here who's gonna up the fun quotient, as it were. Let's bring in Zach. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on. It's been
a million years,
to say the least. Yeah, it's been ages.
You're out there just churning out. You see, you're a West Coaster, so it's like it's like, do you even exist? Not really. It's like there's a whole nother world out there I don't really jive with. So, but I know you're doing a ton of great content. You're doing tons of stuff, mock drafts, all this nonsense that, quite frankly, I'm not good at. So I figure I'll talk to you about some of this stuff happening tonight. There's all sorts of kind of craziness already. But let me ask you, like, straight up. I mean, there have been a few surprises. Is anything more surprising than Jeremiah Love going at 3? I mean, in this world at 2026, we have a running back going 3rd overall. I mean, that's pretty shocking.
Yeah, you would think teams would learn from kind of like what happened with the Giants when they took a running back that high.
That's the very first thought I had.
Especially when you have so many other holes on your roster. Like, I'm not going to pretend I'm like the world's biggest fucking Cardinals aficionado, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
I suspect they have some holes picking at 3.
Exactly, yeah. And I get it. Michael Fuller's there now. He wants to make an impact. He wants to put a stamp on the team.
Yeah.
You have to, make a – there's nothing you could do that makes more headlines and more waves than doing something controversial like that. So whatever. And Love's a good player. He's a really good player. I can't justify picking a running back top 5 though in today's economy. I can't.
It's just hard. It's just hard. Focusing back on the Packers, how are you feeling about it? Where are you as far as a draft a year after a draft that saw a wide receiver taken in the first round? It's being held in Green Bay. There's all sorts of juice, excitement, whatever. How have you been with the kind of leading up to this draft? No first round pick. Got to wait till 52 to get a new Green Bay Packer on the ledger, so to speak. Has it just been a normal draft? Is it not a problem for you, or has it lost a little bit of the luster?
I look forward to the draft every year, regardless of kind of like where the Packers are, just because of the mystique of it. It's just a yearly kind of like, it feels like a second Super Bowl in a way, and I'm not one of the guys who grinds college film all year or closely watches prospects throughout the collegiate season. Like once the college season ends and the combine rolls around, then I start digging into like, okay, who are the Packer fits? Who are the guys that we know Brian Gutekunst is probably going to go after? But no first round pick that we know of right now. I mean, they could always do something crazy and trade back.
It could happen.
Yeah. But no, I look forward to the draft every year regardless. And I do want to say, if I overstay my welcome at any point, tell me to get the fuck out.
Oh, dude, please. Not at all. Although I will say, oh my gosh, if reports are true, so the Rams pick is in, and apparently Jay Glazer is saying the Rams are going to take Ty Simpson.
That was what I saw as well.
What?
I was
thinking
Mekhi Lemon.
I guess, you're not going to have Stafford forever. It's time to get ahead of it, I suppose.
Hey, what do we always say? The best time to draft a quarterback is
when you don't need one.
Exactly. So now, is Ty Simpson that quarterback you want to draft?
Oh boy.
Yeah,
maybe they've just been watching a lot of ESPN, I guess. A whole bunch of
Ty Simpson
Orlovsky like banging that drum.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember he was talking like it was a couple weeks ago. He was talking about are we sure Mendoza is the first overall? Oh, okay. Yeah. The Rams are bought in. My goodness.
Hey, you know what? Good for them. They have a team that was just did they reach the NFC Championship?
Yes,
or was it divisional
in
round?
Seattle. Yeah, 100%.
So then
it's the Packers model. Get to the NFC Championship game, lose in heartbreaking, crushing fashion, take a quarterback the next year. That's okay. I'm down.
Hey, they come LaFleur and McVay. They come from the same tree.
You go. I mean, get it done, man. Get it done. That's crazy. That is crazy. Although it's so funny because like NFL Network is not officially like this hasn't happened yet. This is a Jay Glazer thing, so who knows? Like I know Glazer's on it but it would be hilarious if like Goodell walked up and they said anybody else at this point. That would be kind of funny.
Yeah, that would be.
That would be great. Okay, so in your kind of work on the draft, looking at Packers types, right, and looking at who might be there on day 2 and how you think it might fall, how are you feeling about what the Packers are going to come away with over the next couple days.
So do you want like a prediction at 52?
If that's what you want, that's cool. If you just want a couple of guys you think are possibilities, I mean, however you want to take it, dude. We're chilling here. We're drinking. We're watching the draft. Like, no one's putting you on the record here. We're just shooting the shit.
Okay. All right.
But we will give you untold amounts of hell if you're wrong. I kid. I totally kid.
No, it's what I expected. I mean, come on. This is the internet after all.
Exactly. Precisely.
No, you know what? I think, and this is what I've told other people as well, because this cornerback class is so deep, I feel like they can afford to wait until day 3 or in the 3rd round.
Right.
But they can afford to wait on a cornerback. I know it's such a dire need and people they can't stop talking about cornerback.
Yeah.
I understand it. I fully get it. But this defensive tackle class, like when you have a guy that you're enamored with, you need to pounce. Because there is such a steep drop off.
It's not last year where you're going to be able to find a quality DT like through the 5th, 6th round, right?
You know
I feel that.
After guys like Christian Miller or Lee Hunter or Dominique Orange, like it drops. Maybe a Caleb Proctor in the 4th round. He was.
I love him.
Yeah, me too.
One of my draft crushes.
I was doing my mocks, every time I was coming to like the 4th round, it was Trey Zune and it was Caleb Proctor. Every single time.
Yep. I do think that's kind of the sweet spot for it, right?
I completely agree. Yeah, I think that would be like the perfect prime spot, because otherwise they're going to have to reach a little bit if they find like an offensive lineman that they really like or a defensive tackle that they really like. You know, like if they take someone like Orange at 52, that's a little bit of a reach. But again, they know more about this shit than we do. You know?
Well, and the thing that people, I think, always forget, and I kind of like go on about it every year during the draft, is the develop part. It's draft and develop, and the whole point of what they're doing is projecting where they think these guys are headed athletically, physically, etc., as well as how they're going to learn their schemes, how they're going to fit with their program, etc. I see so much draft content that drives me insane, because it treats everything that you see in their college tape and through their college careers as the finished product. And it's like, no, these guys are still a lot of them are still developing, like literally physically. But also it's like, how do they work in your program and in your scheme and with their teammates and their coaching? And it's about that projection. So if they do take somebody like Orange, who I know fans have been excited about, he's on the cover of our draft guide. You know, it's like, I would be excited about that pick for what he could become. The problem is so many people have it programmed in their mind that whoever's selected, especially if it's the first selection, even if it is in the 2nd round, well, that person's got to come in and contribute and dominate right away. And if they don't, it's a bust or it's a fail or whatever. And it's like, no, it's a long-term investment.
I want to circle back to what you said and kind of like emphasize the point of how they're going to fit with the team, how they're going to fit in the locker room, on the roster, in your scheme. Right. That is something that is so goddamn overlooked. It's true of draft picks and it's true of free agents. You know, anytime there's a free agent that people really want the Packers to sign, they pull up Pro Football Reference and they go, oh, he wasn't that good last year. It wasn't good the year before. You don't know how he's going to be in a new scheme or in a new environment.
Exactly.
You know, and we know, especially what you said about the drafting and the developing, that's especially true. And it's incredible that this isn't like a universal fucking knowledge at this point. It is especially true for the Packers. They draft and develop. Right. Like, that's their whole thing. That is their whole
That is the gig.
Yes. So, you know, if you take a guy like Orange, sure, he might be a little bit of a project. And the same thing with Danny Dennis Sutton from Penn State. He's another guy who I feel like is a really big Packers type.
Good call.
He kind of really checks off all the boxes that they look for. And he can also be an option at 52. He's not a finished product. I am personally on the record of saying I would not be happy if he's the pick at 52, just because of what I've personally seen on tape.
Right.
I'm not a draft evaluator. I'm just, you know, this is what I feel.
Guy watching film.
Just a guy watching film. This is what I feel. And I understand that he's by no means a finished product. He can develop into something special in the right system with the right people surrounding him.
Agreed.
So it's always overlooked.
Talking with Zach Jacobson from PackerReport.com. Let me ask you this. When this draft is done and dusted, is there a position that you think they will, or they could potentially load up on. Like we've seen between Ted and Goody, we've had multiple years where they've gone like 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 3 offensive linemen. Like they've done like a bunch of picks at one position. Is there a spot that you could see them going that route in this draft?
I could see them doing it at corner, to be honest.
Yeah,
you know, once
makes
they,
sense, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like, and this is what I told somebody else the other day. I feel like, you know, competition kind of brings out the best in everybody. Was it even? It might have been. Was it Vince Lombardi that said competition breeds excellence?
Probably. Sounds
I
like
feel
somebody he'd say.
I feel like it was a Lombardi quote, but it's true. It's going to make everybody better. It's going to make Keyshawn Nixon better, Carrington Valentine better, Benjamin St. Juste, who we don't even know what he's going to be able to bring to the table yet.
Right.
So I could definitely see them tripling down at cornerback. I know offensive line is kind of like the popular thing.
Right.
I think Brian Gutekunst next year, with next year's draft, and with I think they have 11 picks right now.
Yep.
Next year's draft class being as strong as it is compared to this one,
yeah.
I think that is when you'll see them kind of triple down on the offensive line, especially when they'll probably get out of the Aaron Banks contract. We don't know how Sean Ryan is going to look with a full offseason working at center, or if it's going to stand like, you know, I thought he was good last year, but you know, we don't know what this group could look like next year. Maybe Jordan Morgan completely shits the bed at left tackle. You know, I'm hoping not.
Let's hope not. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's impossible, but
no,
yeah,
we've been up there taking a lot of bullets for Jordan Morgan.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But here's the thing. I do think he can play left tackle, and I think he is a left tackle. And what's so maddening is that, like, when they selected him, that whole first kind of 3 months that he was in Green Bay, all they talked about was, oh, no, he's a tackle. He's a tackle.
Stick him at guard.
So let's play him at guard as much as we can. What?
They've made some just weird calls with, like, where
all
guys fit at certain positions. Yeah, for years now. It's like fitting square pegs into round holes. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
It's especially true with Jordan Morgan. I mean, he was always projected as a tackle, came out as a tackle. He looked good at right tackle when he got the opportunity there. But, you know, that's your long-term blindside protector. I don't understand why you would put so much on his plate immediately coming into the league, having him. I know you want your lineman that you pick to be.
Well, that's the thing. Like the scuttlebutt you kept hearing was, oh, they want to get him on the field. At guard, why? Like that never made sense to me, and it certainly doesn't seem to get any better. Like all like the image that's like kind of burned into my brain from last season with Jordan Morgan is that 4th and 9 against the Panthers, where Love ends up running all over the place and throws a near interception across his body to Dobbs in the end zone. But all of that happens because Morgan gets beat so fast off the snap of the ball at right guard. And like Love is in fire drill mode half a second after getting the ball in his hand. It's like, and that happened way too much with Morgan at guard. Like that, to me, like that drove me nuts. That was the biggest kind of problem with the team last year. Talk about all the issues they had, everything you're talking about as far as call it hubris, whatever you want to say, whatever they were doing up front as far as who they were playing where and the choices they made. Yeah, man, it did make a whole lot of sense.
And even kind of compounding that was even when the guys that they did play, like where they played them, the offensive line as a whole just kind of faltered. You know, they were not a good, consistent unit all season long. And everything in Matt LaFleur's offense, we know this. He's been the head coach for 7 years now. Everything stems from the offensive line and how the guys up front perform, how well you can run play action, how well you can run the ball. It all kind of works together. It's a perfect marriage. And when they can't run the ball well, they can't run play action well. They can't throw the ball. It kind of all just works in unison. So, you know, the whole offensive line as a whole, I feel like just if they're better, this is immediately an improved team in 2026. Just with that alone, with the guys they have right now, if they're just better,
1,000,000% agree.
That's it. You know,
couldn't agree more. I'm going to bring in someone else here. We're going to go trio, 3-box here. We got Justice Mosqueda, Mackie Packing Company. We got Zach Jacobson from Packer Report and Schmo Nagler from CHTV. Justice, how are you enjoying the Ty Simpson era in LA?
Well, they told him ahead of time that they were going to do it, right?
Oh, did they?
So that's what Jay Glazer said. So,
no, I know Glazer was saying. Oh, there you go. I know Glazer said yesterday there was something going to happen in the first round that was going to make everyone go, whoa. And I guess that's it.
Sure. Caleb Downs falling all the way down made me go, whoa. The most predictable thing in the world is Caleb Downs any good at football? People realizing till the 11th pick. Free Ruben Bain. His card just did that. We can't let him fall to the Lions or Vikings.
Brother. No.
And they're coming up.
Yes.
So
not a fan of this idea.
Wait, who's coming up?
Lions.
We got
the
Lions in 3 picks and the Vikings in 4 picks. The Vikings are right after the Lions.
Yeah.
Which
so
is
we need Tampa or the Jets to take Ruben Bain or someone to trade up because I don't want that to happen.
No, I don't love the idea of. I don't mind Zach Tom, obviously, but Jordan Morgan. Let's. Well, no baptism by fire here. We don't need that.
I feel like the Vikings been locked into that Oregon safety kind of really for a
that's
little
everyone's mocked.
Everyone's
that
just
a billion
mocked it.
times. Yes.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I can't understand that. It's like everywhere I look, he's going there at 18.
It's because they lost Harrison Smith. That's like the one. They're in everyone's mind. That's the one for one. I don't know. Like I think safety is probably on their like wish list, but I don't know that it's that simple and kind of straight line. You know.
Thieneman, as a Ducks fan, I always thought he was going to be like around pick 50. I never thought we were going to be talking. I mean, some people had him as high as like 12 to the Cowboys and stuff. I know he ran fast. He ran faster than the guys at Oregon expected because I texted them after the combine. I was like, do you guys think he was a 4.3 guy? And they're like, we thought he was a 4.5 guy. So good testing for him. Part of the Caucasian Collision Unit, CCU, between him and Bryce Betcher, the linebacker who was in this class.
Right.
So fond memories of him in Oregon, but if the Vikings take him in the first, I'll be pretty happy.
I don't want to fucking tip anything, but I know 15 and 16.
Go tip it, baby. That's why we're here.
I don't want to be that fucking guy. So.
No, I told people already. We're talking about picks as soon as we know about them. Like if you don't want
to
get off the internet.
So Bain's not slipping. He's going at 15 to Tampa Bay, and the Jets are taking Sadiq at 16.
The tight end?
The Jets are taking Sadiq.
The tight end, yep.
At 15?
16.
At 16? What?
15 is Bain, yeah.
Getting prepped for the Dante Moore experience next year.
Good Lord.
It does. They're pretty much fucking phoning it in. I feel like
it really feels like, dude. All I know is Bain. To your point, Justice. Yes, thank you. I'm not a fan of him going to Tampa because they already are. If we end up facing them in the playoffs, et cetera, but they always give us problems with their rush.
Oh yeah, it's
always. Don't give them more ammo.
Fest. It's a slot fest.
Don't give them more
time.
ammo. But yes, I'm with you. And thank God, keep them out of the hands of the Vikings and the Lions. I'm down with that.
So we're getting pretty close to consensus draft board. Throw all the asterisks on it if you think it's stupid or not, right?
Right.
Top guys on it: Mekhi Lemon at 13, the wide receiver at a USC, Monroe Freeling, the tackle out of Georgia, and then after that we get what might be. I mean, if Ty Simpson going this high wasn't the story of the draft, or Caleb Downs slipping, it might be Jamard McCoy, the corner from Tennessee, and how high he goes whenever he goes.
He's got the injury issues, right, that have been kind of talked about here.
Yeah, when they say like, "Hey, yeah, he's got a bad bone plug. We need a new bone plug." I'm like, I don't like the sound of bone plug.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, especially if I'm investing a first round, pick and contract into it. Yeah. But that's the thing. It's
I guess
like
the theory is
that...
like it's gonna work. It's gonna work, but at some point he's gonna miss a year. Is basically
right
what the medicals are on that.
Yeah. So okay, there we go. The Bucks Bain pick is in and done and dusted. The Jets taking a tight end. That's crazy. So then, the Lions and the Vikings, which is crazy. Justice, let me ask you this. We're talking about looking at tomorrow, obviously, Packers with 2 picks. Do you think they make those 2 picks? Do we think they slide around? Do we think they jump up? What are you thinking?
Oh, I think if they move around, they trade back from 52. Because I just think Goot wants like 10 picks to draft, and we don't have 10 picks yet. So, I mean, how many seasons in a row were we like, they got like 12, but they're not going to make all 12, right?
I was just talking about that with Rob and Wes and those guys earlier. I'm like, remember the days when they had to have 12, 13, 14 fucking picks?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking exactly that. Like, oh, they're going to trade some of these away. And they made 14 picks.
So that's my logic on, I think, if anything, they trade back. But if not, I think they stick with their picks. I do think the strength of this draft, and I feel like we say this almost every year, but it's like the third and fourth round where, like, if you can get volume, if I can move back from the middle of the second to the end of the second and I get an extra late third, early fourth, like I view that as a win because you get another at bat. So I don't think there's that different of a tier. And like now that Bane's off of the board, like I feel like the borderline second round pick run, right, is like the second half of the first round has started, right? This is round 1.5.
Although the Jets screw everything up with that tight end pick. But like, yes, like most years you hear from NFL folks that there are 17 to 20
24
first round picks, like actual guys that we have, draftable first round grades on. And then everything falls into that second tier bucket and beyond. Well, this year it felt like from everyone I've talked to, Justice, I don't know what you heard or yourself, Zach. We were sitting around like 15, 16 tops, actual first round picks.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point, we're coming up here on the second round, like essentially, as far as where guys would traditionally.
I mean, we're talking about like Akeem Mesidor is like ranked 21st on the consensus board. He's older than LVN.
Jesus Christ.
So that's a factual statement that you can look up.
That's incredible. What do we think as far as LVN's fifth-year option? They pulling that trigger? I know he was asked about
it. If they don't pick like DDS or Zion Young at 52, I think they're going to pull the trigger on the option. But I think if they draft one at 52, then it's a different story.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it exactly that. But what's interesting to me is God help us if they don't, right? And then LVN finally puts it together. Like that's not a nightmare scenario because then it's obviously good because you got a great year from him. But like the fact that it took so long that you don't have him kind of set for that fifth year on that 1 year deal. I know it's fully guaranteed, but it's a bargain comparative to what you're probably going to have to pay him.
We'll hear about
that scenario plays out.
There's been some guys like Cole Van Lannon, Corey Linsley did half decent in New York this past year and did it for like basically no money. This has happened in the past.
Yeah. Not holding my breath, but it's possible. We'll see. Gentlemen, I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to. I really appreciate you jumping on each and every year. It's always fun. I'll be doing this again tomorrow night, which I know will all be a lot busier, but you're both more than welcome to stop by again. I'll be sending you guys the link, pretty much spamming all my friends and colleagues. Really, really encourage everyone to check out Zach's work at Packer Report. Justice, we talk from time to time here on CHTV, but obviously at Acme Packing Company. Guys, thanks so much. Really appreciate you taking some time.
Thanks for having us, man.
For sure. Thank you.
Take it easy. All right. Let's get your questions, comments, concerns. Eric, you sent that link for the GoFundMe, so I hope you found that. Evil Badger. I wish they go back to 12 rounds. Just kidding. Don't you put that evil on me. Don't you put that evil on me. What else we got? Mike Witt, Eeyore number 2, checking in. I hate that I'm saying this, but I think the best pick tonight so far has been Dallas getting Downs. Guy's a stud. I mean, they didn't jump up for no reason. Yeah, he's talented as hell. He's one of the best defenders in the draft. And the fact that the Cowboys got him, I hate it as a Packers fan, but it makes a world of sense. I think it is a good move. And as we discussed earlier, their defense was so bad last year. You can't say you're surprised, right? Jeff Jones, how are you, man? Are you saying this is a fill out your depth draft? This is certainly a component. Doesn't mean you can't find studs. Doesn't mean you can't find guys who can contribute right away and or become starters long-term, etc. But certainly this draft lacks the sizzle some of the explosiveness that other draft classes have had or will have. Um, and yeah, you talk to anybody who covers the draft and or works for either the Packers or somewhere in the league, everyone talks about how the 2027 draft is loaded, especially comparative to this draft. When it comes to explosive athletes, potential long-term stars, blue chip types, etc. Mostly because there's so much, you know, high ceiling involved. What else we got here, folks? Porkmaster. Oh, there's a lot more hair in this group than the Packers beat. Wow. Wow. Holy Toledo. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. Detroit's pick is in. Detroit, pick 17 is in. See what that's going to become. Mike Witt, no Banky tonight. Correct. There will be no Banky tonight. There will be no Banky tomorrow night, unfortunately. Corey's a busy guy, and he's got tons of stuff to do. And as he said, this is him. I didn't say this. He said this. It's not like he has a whole lot to add because he just loves every Packers pick and really hopes they all are successful. So I will say I'm sad that he's not here to join in and won't be here tomorrow, if for no other reason than the potential for a Conups meet type meltdown at any point with Corey is always one of the things that keeps me on my toes. But yeah, it's unfortunately he's just, he's busy, man. He's running a multi-million-dollar company, got stuff to do. He's a very important man around town. He's got business concerns. He's got, social concerns. It's a Friday night tomorrow. Like, he's busy. He's busy. Yeah, and the boys lost a stud. Yeah, complicated they did because he's playing in Green Bay now. Ryan, I feel you, man. Missing the draft in Green Bay. It was like a high, wasn't it? Like just having the draft in Green Bay at Lambeau Field, seeing Lambeau every time they cut back from commercial. Like, yeah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Draft room footage and still photos. Oh, that's downloaded, people. Oh, we're going. We got it, baby. Oh, they can't keep it away from us. Oh, let's do it. Where is it? Get that MP4. Let's go. I think I can upload it to my system here. Let me see. Oh, is it a different file type? That's going to piss me off, but we'll see. Oh, this is a tradition. This is just a annual tradition. Oh, I think it's good. Bam. Oh, yeah, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for the first time, Ed Policy joins the crew, although he did tell us last night he was always in the room, just out of frame of the camera. But the Green Bay Packers draft war room. Gotta wait for this video to upload. Oh, goodness. Electric Brother, what's up? Cowboys Jerry Jones is already scheming about how he'll screw Caleb Downs over on his next contract. Word. No doubt. Okay. Lions pick is in, but I don't have the pick yet. We'll see what happens there. But here we go. Draft war room. That's good stuff right there. Come on. Come on. Like, there's no phones going off. They're like, not really doing much of anything tonight. And that's reflective. White out the draft board. Well done. Good job. Oh, yeah. That's the stuff right there. Everybody hard at work. Just in case. You never know when someone might call. John Schneider could be on that phone at any minute. Milt Hendrickson. Matt. Look at these guys. Hard at work. Ed looking very in charge. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Yes, guys, I'm in charge. So make no mistake about it. I am in charge. Yeah, we're gonna pick somebody at some point. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. That's how that works. Hot stuff from the Green Bay Packers right there, baby. There we go. The annual tradition. Oh my goodness. And then the Lions pick is at pick 17. Wait, where's my tracker? Says it. Nope. Unfortunately not. Oh my God, Roger, you're taking forever, buddy. Give it to me. All right, kid. Say it quick. Do love the B-roll. Don't we all? Man, we got that B-roll. You need that B-roll? We got that B-roll. All right. And the Lions take Blake Miller, the tackle out of Clemson. Well, they needed a tackle. They needed offensive line help after their offensive line has essentially quit on them for the last 2 years. Not a surprise there. Definitely knew they would probably be looking offensive line, and they didn't disappoint. That's the latest man who can be terrorized by Micah Parsons. I love to see it. Soder, how you doing, man? I miss the NFL draft being a one-day thing at the new Sheraton Hotel. The helmet placards and collapsible tables and landline phones. I'm tearing up. You know, I was saying the other day, I really miss it being at Radio City. That 2-day excursion into Midtown. Even before that, like you go on the west side when I first moved to the city, they would do it at the Javits Center. Even before that was the Madison Square Garden Theater down in the bowels. Those are some fun drives. That was nuts. They served beer at that one. That was a good time. Oh my gosh, the Vikings pick is already in. The Vikings took no time this time. All right, well done, boys and girls. Get us out of here. More like Ed Policy looking thirsty and looking for a carry the G. You damn right he is. You know, I think I feel a song coming on.
Well, we carry the G wherever we may be, so creamy and cold, and from the land of the green and gold.
Carry the G, creamy, the official beer. Oh man, the Vikings took Caleb Banks. I hate to say it. That's a good pick. I really like that player. Not a fan of him going to Minnesota. So yeah. All right, Sean Ryan, Aaron Banks, Anthony Belton. New guy for you to take care of. Make sure they don't do anything, Jordan Love. We'll see how that plays out. What else we got here, folks? Caleb Banks. Okay, we got the Panthers. Look at that. Panthers on the clock. Portmaster, I feel bad for him. Yeah. Yeah, it's a rough entry. What else we got? Sorry, guys, just messaging with a few people that still may join us. Nah, he's a bust now. Doesn't Banks have injury concerns? Don't we all have injury concerns? Man, my left leg's been killing me for like 2 weeks. We're all day to day, you know what I'm saying? Search the B-roll for Gannon. B coordinator does not traditionally hang out in the draft war room. That's not how that rolls, but I like it. I like your idea. Go back and kind of look it over. Hey, Jake Slaughter, man Banks up at practice every day. I like the way you're thinking there. I like Slaughter. as a player, but you guys know if you watched my draft crush video, I'm I'm in the Jaeger Burton business. Jaeger Burton business. I really want that kid in a Packers uniform. High Point. Is it round 2 yet? Sadly, no. I hate to tell you, but it's not going to be till tomorrow. But I feel you, man. We're all just hanging in there. 328 lost souls hanging out here on CHTV on Thursday night. I appreciate you all, each and every one of you. Porkmaster. Dude, I reached for my ice scraper this morning and I pulled my neck out. Like, when did that become normal? I'm telling you, dude. There's so much going on right now as far as like moves I try to make with like my life, like certain ways and like aches and pains and get them over 50, but I didn't think it'd be this pronounced like so soon. I thought I had until like 65, 70 to worry about all this, but man, you are not wrong. Bill, how are you, sir? Thanks for the super chat. Evening, Aaron. Fun fact, I was at Radio City when they were filming Draft Day. There you go. Immortalized in one of the worst films ever made. Although I do know it is cherished by NFL draft nicks around the world. So, hey, there are several folks I know and have worked with who were in the movie, like in the press boxes, etc. So, fun exercise. It's just too bad they made a terrible film around what could have been a very compelling story, but they decided to go another way. Oh, wow, Jim, get out of town. I missed my PE teacher breaking into my history class to announce the Packers took Paul Kaufman. Wow. Wow. And loved watching Paul Kaufman. You know what? Banky ran into Paul Kaufman at some random bar in like Brillion with his, I think with his aunt, with Aunt Gert. I think it's just like 1 or 2 years ago. Paul Kaufman's a legend, man. Pack Daddy, you damn right. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Shout it loud. You damn right he is. Let's go. That's what I love to hear. Can you believe I kind of got to pinch myself, man. You're not wrong. He's a Green Bay Packer. He is a Green Bay Packer. So the Panthers pick is in. That's good to hear. See, this is how I know this is our demo audience, right? This is our group here. Yeah, I was pulling weeds in my yard and got a herniated disc. Sucks being old. This is why I give shouts out to our friends over at Theta Care. They have walk-in care there in the greater Wisconsin area and throughout the Midwest. Make sure if you do have something going on, you got a little ache, pain, what have you, you got to get it checked out. You don't need an appointment. Theta Care has walk-in care all throughout the state, all throughout the Midwest. Get yourself seen. Theta Care will take care of you. Do it, people. You know, my kids, they're always after me about, you got to go to the doctor. You got to get this seen. You got to get that taken care of, blah, blah, blah. And I am a classic, like, nah, I'll be fine. It'll go away. And usually when I was a younger man, it did. But now that stuff, it sticks around if you don't get it worked on, seen to, what have you. So do it, folks. Take care of yourself. Your loved ones will thank you. Here we go. This is a throwdown right here from RCS. Brandy is actually Eeyore number 1B. Soder will always be 1A. Everyone else is competing for second. Now, I don't know, RCS. See, I understand that you are traditionally mostly involved somewhat here on the chat, but mostly on the happy hour. I'm Mike Witt. I don't know, dude. Mike Witt, he's right there. He's neck and neck as 1B. He's Eeyore number 2. So I think that she's fighting. She's fighting with Mike Witt for Eeyore number 2. All right. The run on offensive and defensive linemen has started. Monroe Freeling going to the Panthers. I know they lost some offensive line this offseason, so replenishing there. I mean, it's hard just in my mind looking at the Panthers thinking Was that the most disappointing loss the Packers had last year? Oh, no. That was the Browns. Well, why the hell in the year 2026 am I sitting here having to debate which loss was worse and more embarrassing, the Browns or the Panthers? And I think the Panthers are actually a team on the come up. I have no shade there. But the Browns, the fucking Browns. That's just embarrassing, man. That was just embarrassing. MA does things. How are you? Hey, Nags, do we really need another defensive end or outside back edge player? I would classify it as, given that they're moving to a 3-4. Why not rely on LVN, Sorrell, Cox, etc.? Glad I was able to catch you. Well, thanks for catching us, brother. Depends on the player, depends on their projection of said player. I get what you're saying, but you're always in motion. You're getting better, you're getting worse, and there's nothing to say that what if they lose LVN after this year, which is entirely possible. Maybe Sorrell doesn't develop the way we hope he does. I do think he put some good things on tape last year, but he's got a lot of work to do. He's got a lot of development to get in front of. And you get thin real quick. Don't forget, you're starting the year without Micah Parsons. I just think I understand what you're saying, but if the board falls a certain way and it makes sense value-wise, like if they have a guy who's clearly, way above and beyond everybody else on their board, let's say over this is where they have the edge guy rated, and then there's a corner, there's a tackle, there's even a running back. They're all rated here. You take the best player. That's why you're always talking about best player at a position of need. You can question the need for at this very moment, but it gets thin real quick. Injuries can plague any position group at any time. Look how much time LVN missed last year. So, and that was, when you still had Rashawn Gary, who, obviously fell off the cliff when it came to production, but he still was a guy that you could count on to defend the run, set the edge, etc. I just, if the player is there and it makes sense value-wise, they pull the trigger, and I suspect they will. I have ADHD, so apparently I'm a Tigger. Tigger is a wonderful thing. Let's see. We got Lemon to the Eagles. So they've traded for Dontavian Wicks. They've taken Mekhi Lemon, A.J. Brown. I hope you're renting. I know the report is out there that they're going to trade him most likely to the Patriots as of June 1st, but man, it's tough. A couple people chiming in with the loss to the stupid Bears. The Bears game was the most embarrassing. It sucked. It was the most emotionally gut-wrenching, no question about it. It was not embarrassing, but given how they had played all year, it sucks, man. You got to deal with all these Bears fans in your mentions on social media, but there's no shame in that game. They won the division. They're in the playoffs. They won a playoff game against us, but that game sucked. But yeah, man, comparing that to losing to the Browns, which, by the way, if they win that Browns game, they're probably playing that game in Lambeau Field in the playoffs. And of course, if Romeo Dobbs falls on an onside kick, they're also playing that game in Lambeau Field. But yeah, I don't know. It sucked, no question about it, but I wasn't embarrassed by it. I was embarrassed that they let that lead go. They fell apart in the fourth quarter, etc. But as a whole, infinitely more embarrassing to lose to the Browns. Come on. It's the fucking Browns, for God's sakes. Oh, no, Bill. Sad fact, I went to the Browns game. I'm so sorry, man. They couldn't even operate on offense in that game. You talk about embarrassing. Steelers pick is in. Crowd is going nuts. God, we're at pick 21 already. I like these 8 minutes. Let's go. Bill, another sad fact. I went to the Broncos game. Damn. Well, hey, at least you got to see them pull ahead, get up in the third quarter. They're at 9-3, coming off a big win against the Bears. You're thinking Super Bowl at that point, right? At least you had a little bit of fun until it all came tumbling down. But yeah, that sucks. Mr. J, I do not disagree. I think Cox could be good if he got more snaps. And I think there's a world where that could occur, right? Depending on how this draft unfolds, how other guys perform, etc. Especially when they're waiting on Micah Parsons for those first 4 games. I'm with you. And look, 2 years ago when he was healthy and on the field, he was pretty damn productive as far as pressure on the quarterback, making the quarterback have to, get off the spot, etc. I'm not in disagreement there. I think he will be effective if and when given the opportunity. Like, there's zero doubt there. But there's also, I don't know, something about, again, as I was saying earlier, if you can find additional help in that room, pass rusher is such a premium position. If you got a guy who can win on the regular, if you got a guy in the draft who you think you project to do exactly that, hard to pass that up, no matter what you have in hand. But I don't disagree. I think, it's interesting when you talk about him, you talk about Sorrell, Colin Oliver is the real wild card here, right? Because he just didn't practice or play for 90% of the year last year. He's such an unknown, right? And now they're obviously using a different system. We'll see how and if he's able to get out there. Really kind of defensive back heavy kind of looks. I don't know if you can trust him on the edge as far as on early downs. So he's pretty much a pass rush only specialist type. Unless maybe they use him as a hybrid at linebacker, which was some of what he did in college, right? Yeah, those are the kind of position type battle things that are going to make the summer really interesting. Hey, Ryan, what's up, man? I guess when YouTube switched to at whatever, I lost my Eeyore status. Ryan Willie, Ryan, you're there. You're neck and neck. I think Mike Witt has got you beat on volume though, and Soder is always number 1 with the bullet. But now you guys are all in competition because Brandy's back in the mix, and God knows Brandy has the bona fides. RCS. Aaron, you should have the Bears Still Suck polka queued up like the Carry the G jingle. The issue would be that we don't own the rights to the Bears Still Suck polka song, which they do have, on YouTube. But if you use it in your content, they can lay claim to your monetization of your stream. So that would be tough. It would be awesome, but it would be tough because then, we wouldn't be able to monetize and I wouldn't be able to pay my rent. And that's something I enjoy doing. But we are very much in the clear with the theme. Thanks to Jason. Soder. Tiggers, everything in the world sucks. Case in point, Browns and Bronco games. You're not wrong, man. You are not wrong. Yeah, and the Steelers went tackle as well. Kid out of Arizona State, which is not surprising given the recent news we heard about how their starting tackle has had, I don't know if it was a setback or is not progressing the way they had hoped over the course of the offseason. So they definitely need a tackle to come help protect Aaron Rodgers, maybe? How great is it? How great is it to watch all the Aaron Rodgers stuff and not have to be emotionally invested in it? It's a beautiful thing, man. It is a beautiful thing. It is. You got to say it's pretty great. It's pretty phenomenal. Mr. JJ, what's up? I love the song Renegade by Styx. It's a great track. It's a great track. It gets a little repetitive if you're at the Steeler Stadium, but it's good stuff. Good stuff. Hotel men cover the Bears Still Suck. That's actually a fun idea. When we did the kickoff concert last year in Green Bay, we did Bang the Drum. Why not? Why we should. We absolutely should. Master. Remember when cornerbacks intercepted the ball? Those were good times. I mean, I'll take pass breakups. I'm not choosy. I ain't picky. I mean, Jair was never a big interception guy, but at least he broke it up. At least he covered guys and made it tough to complete. Just how about that? But yes, interceptions would be great as well. I'm not saying I would turn my nose up at it. Well, look at this. Chargers pick is in. All right. Guys, we are flying. We're at 22 already. Holy cow. Michael, that is an excellent question. I see pass rusher and corner as the same level of premium. Am I wrong? No. I would probably give a slight nod to pass rusher, but you're not wrong, especially how most NFL teams operate and how they go about valuing those positions. They are pretty even, right? It's always you ask any coach or any personnel evaluator, they'll always talk about the marriage, right? The marriage of the rush and coverage and how just symbiotic that relationship is. And you could talk all day about, oh, they don't have the corners to do this or that, but, give a quarterback enough time, they're going to pick anybody apart, no matter what you're running. But I do think it was very, very, very noticeable and kind of on display throughout last season when Halfley's running cover 3 or cover 2 the vast majority of the time, or some form of it, like some disguise to get how they got into it. But that was his bread and butter, what he called I want to say 85% of the time between those two coverages, right? And every time, and I mean every time, they tried to gin up some pressure after Parsons went down and tried to, generate pressure with scheme, and they left those corners on islands or one-on-one, God forbid, in any kind of man coverage. Teams got buckets. Teams knew. Yep, just get to that third down, and if they send a blitz, we know one of our wideouts can beat their corners. They knew it more often than not. It didn't matter if it was the Broncos, the Bears. Teams just knew. They got the Packers into a situation where they had to send pressure because they couldn't get home because they didn't have the edge rushers. Yeah, you knew you were going to beat. I mean, Nixon, Valentine, Hobbs went the few times he was out there. It was hard to watch, and it's tough if you're a play caller. That's the other component. It's like Halfley, you can get frustrated, but at the same time, he's kind of calling the game with his hand tied behind his back when Parsons went down because you play coverage, they dink and dunk you down the field, and it's frustrating. So you start trying to generate pressure, but then they beat you on the back end. So yeah, man, I'm always going to give, like I said, I'm always going to give the nod to edge and pass rusher just slightly because I think more than anything, it's about getting the quarterback either on the ground or off the spot. And that's going to help those corners. But they certainly can't do it alone. They need cornerbacks. So yeah, man, you're not wrong. You're not crazy at all. Porkmaster. I am curious how Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers are going to work, like putting a spoon in the microwave. Yeah, I just can't fathom that in 2026, given all the history. And I know, hey, they had a really good kind of time when the Cowboys came back up to Lambeau, and they talked about the chat that they had pregame and throughout that week, reconnecting, and it sure feels like and sounds like Rodgers is in a very different place, time, heals wounds, etc. But you get to week 2, 3, and Rodgers is all of a sudden going, I ain't running that. When he's starting to call his own offense again. I think that's all it's going to take. That's all it's going to take. But we'll see. Maybe it turns out great, and they go on a huge run, and they go 13-4 or whatever, and get the playoffs and kill it. Anything's possible. I ain't saying it's likely, but anything is possible. Ooh, Jeff, that's a deep question. Is our identity in our players, our plays, or packages? I would say mostly in the players. I think sometimes Matt gets caught up in scheme a little bit too much and forgets his players at times. I don't think in general, but there are moments. But yeah, man, when fully healthy, they're Jordan Love distributing, Micah Parsons wrecking. That's it. Like that should be the identity. Now, you're still going to have run through the offense through Josh Jacobs. You are going to be a running football team. I don't think that's ever going to change as long as Matt's in charge, but in service of helping the quarterback, helping Jordan Love get the ball to Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft, Jaden Reed, etc. Like that's the players, right? It doesn't mean that there aren't great schemes, that there aren't great personnel packages and things like that, but more than anything, it's got to be about the players. No question. All right. Who the Cowboys are on the clock? And the pick is in for the Cowboys. Holy Toledo. Oh, Cowboys. Players over plays, in the words of Vic. Yeah, man. Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. How the best teams work. Ooh, Joseph, that's an interesting perspective. Coaches move around too much and the league evolves too quickly. I don't know, man. Yes and no. Like I hear you, especially given the last 3 or 4 years when it comes to the coaching carousel. The fact that there were 10 head coaching openings, I believe it was this offseason, and so many staffs got shaken up, right? And so many guys moved, jobs, buildings, whatever, certainly adds to that. You're not wrong about that. The Halfley thing is interesting. I remember Corey when we were discussing this before Halfley had gotten the job in Miami. You know how Corey is. As soon as we lost to the Bears, he unplugs for a bit and just disappears and doesn't want to hear about it, whatever. But then we were talking, and I said, well, yeah, there's a good chance Halfley's going to get a head coaching job at Miami. And what happened to having to win a Super Bowl before you got a head coaching job? There was a time, your point, Joseph, where yeah, you were on a staff for 5, 8, 10 plus years, kind of beating down the door of a championship, and then you finally got over the hump, and then people looked at your kind of work, your resume, and your pedigree and thought, "Oh, we gotta get that guy in here," right? That's all been fast-tracked now. I mean, the fact that Halfley was a defensive coordinator in the league for 2 years and then landed a head coaching job, and I get some of it is undoubtedly driven by the fact that John Eric Sullivan ends up there. He undoubtedly drove that. Like, that helps, right? But yeah, the evolving too quickly thing is interesting because so much kind of innovation and things that football goes through happens at the college level before it filters up into the NFL. Well, one of the ways the NFL is kind of interesting, I think, it's always cyclical, right? It's always been cyclical. And the thing we've seen certainly over the course of the last 2 years, I wanna say, but it really kinda came to the fore last year is how for so long, you remember McCarthy's offenses with Rodgers pulling the trigger was so spread out, so much spread, right? And you've seen with Matt, there's so much more condensed formation stuff now. But now the kind of the next step is, all right, defenses have loaded up on these freak athletes, right? These real amazing kind of aliens, especially up front, who are athletes, but maybe a little lighter, maybe a little bit easier to move by bigger guys. And so now you've seen NFL offenses starting to button it up. They've run the football more in the last 2 years than they had in like the last 10, and the fact that scoring is down because teams have capped things and they're playing so much shell coverage to keep it all in front of you means teams have to A, run the ball, but B, also just take what they're given and run these 10, 12 play drives. Yeah, that's very different than the NFL we knew even 5 years ago, right? But I think that's partly just the league in general and the way it's always been as far as how cyclical it is. I don't know if that aspect's too fast, but I very much agree with the coaching moves, like the way guys have bounced and been promoted quickly, right? I mean, look at Liam Cohen's a perfect example. I mean, he what? How many years was he a coordinator in Tampa? You blinked and he was gone. That's Yeah, I'm with you on that. On that part of it, I'm definitely with you. So, oh, look at this. The Cowboys took an edge from UCF. Malachi Lawrence. It's like they had a needed edge for some reason. I can't really put my finger on why. But that's kind of funny. Dustin, what a question. Think we see Lloyd this season? Honestly, I doubt it. Have seen absolutely nothing from the kid to suggest that he's going to be able to last a month, let alone a full NFL season. We'll see. I'm pulling for him. I'm rooting for him. Hopefully, it's all just been bad luck. I do think it was instructive last combine, not this past combine, but last year's combine, when Goody was asked about him and the injury issues and the struggles and frustrations of not being able to get on the field. Goody referenced Mike Flanagan. And for those of you who don't remember Mike, he was offensive lineman center who went through a boatload of injuries, much like Marshawn Lloyd. Different types, but a ton of injuries that kept him off the field, and he almost quit football. But the Packers kept at it, kept him around, brought him back, and he finally got right and helped and played well for them. The fact that Goody kind of name checked him makes me think that that's kind of in the back of his mind as far as, all right, I'm not going to give up on this kid. I used a 3rd-round pick on him, right? I'm going to utilize his entire rookie deal to hopefully get him out on the field and producing for us. So we'll see. Like I said, he's a lottery ticket at this point. You don't know what you're going to get. You're hoping he's coming up good, but that's about it. RCS. Lloyd will look great in camp and then ... Yeah. Unfortunately. Okay. Browns pick is in. And then the Bears are on the clock. God help us. Soder, how are you, sir? Has the collapse of O-line play just broken the idea of NFL coaching being a thing? Winning seems kind of random at times. Yeah, I don't know. The offensive line has been hit the hardest by the CBA. And I know we've talked about it a lot. I spoke to David Bakhtiari a couple of times when I was on the back with CHTV, so you can still find those conversations. And we did some deep dive stuff on this. It's certainly a product of the CBA limiting what they're allowed to do in the offseason together in pads, training-wise, as far as any of the old heads out there. We always used to talk about the need for continuity along the offensive line and those 5 guys working together. That's all gone now. That is so limited in the work you are even allowed to do, even if you have those 5 guys together in the offseason. Not allowed to hit, not allowed to wear pads, not allowed to do anything. So that has robbed a lot of teams of cohesion up front. And you can put together a bunch of really talented players, but sometimes it does take 3, 4, even 5 games for them to gel. And even then, during the season, you're only allowed 1 padded practice a week, and you're only allowed 14 of those for the entire season. The whole season, you get 14 padded practices. By the way, the season is 18 weeks long. About to be 19 when they add an 18th game. Yeah, the CBA destroyed the offensive line in the NFL. So, yeah, coaching is still a thing. It's just they're not allowed to do a lot of it. It's unfortunate. It really sucks, but it is the truth, Dustin Logan, incredibly generous super chat. Thank you, brother. Nags, thanks for making the offseason tolerable. We appreciate you. Have a drink on me. BJ Raji is the GOAT, and go Pack go. Dog, you are way too generous. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Flanagan broke a leg, right? Yes, Pack Daddy. That was one of the things he did. He had a couple of different injuries. Oh, the Browns took Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M, the wide receiver. Love this kid. Hate that he has to go to the Browns, but oh, glad he's getting a first round contract. The kid's going to be a stud. Love him. Let's see. Bears are on the clock. You hate to see it. Gotta think they go edge here, though. I haven't even looked at the availability here. I'll look at my. If you guys are following along, let me know who you think will be the most likely to be picked here. Let me see. Edge. What we got? Well, we got edge. Oh, interesting. I don't know. Maybe Parker? Maybe. I doubt it, though. That's interesting. Maybe they go Allen from Georgia. I don't know. Dustin, thanks again, brother. The Bears still and will always suck. You're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong. Really appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. It is beyond generous. Yeah. Look, RCS, future Bears bust on deck. You ain't wrong, brother. You ain't wrong. The pick is in for Chicago. Let's see who they select. What future draft bust awaits the Bears here? Guess not. Okay, there we go. The Bears are like a fish fry without fish. I don't know if I get that reference, but I like it. I like it. I like where your head's at. You know, whatever the main thing is, the Bears don't have it. Is that what you're saying? Okay, that makes sense. I kind of get that now. I can jive with that. Always. This pick is going to suck. I like it. I like where your head's at. All right, come on. Just tell us the pick. Holy cow. We're at pick 25 already. This is nuts. Fastest first round ever. Got that. Dustin, you are insane, brother. Hope you know where that decimal is, dude. Dustin, thank you, brother. One more for pizza night. Appreciate you, Nax. Dustin, really appreciate it. You're kind of worrying me. I just hope you understand where that decimal is on those super chats. Really appreciate it. Maybe you've had a few. No worries if you need to email me and go, Aaron, I love you. But yes, that decimal was one off. So I'm just saying. Brother. All good. Joseph, I am definitely inviting Dustin to my next birthday. Yeah, man. Got Daddy Warbucks over here. All right. Come on, Bears. Make the pick is in. Announce the pick. I need it. I need it like I need air to breathe so we can make fun. It's essentially all we're trying to do here. Hello. Okay. What does the Schefter say? Schefter doesn't say anything about the Bears pick yet. I see. Oh, here we go. No. Come on. With the 25th pick of the 2026 NFL draft, the Bears have won the offseason. Good for them. That's what it does. That's what it do. Dustin, holy cow. Aaron, love you guys. The old fashions are flowing and the decimal is right where it needs to be. Dustin, you're amazing. Thank you, brother. Talk about old fashions. You got an old fashioned coming from me next time I'm in town. Thank you, brother. Really cannot thank you enough. Really appreciate the support. That's incredible. Talk about paying the rent this month. Definitely going to be able to. Thank you, Dustin. Elijah, random Packer, McAllen Castles. Did you watch Transplants last night when Corey said he'd never heard of him? Most banky moment ever. Like, of course he's never heard of McAllen Castles. Soder, how you doing, buddy? I wear Packer everywhere I go. The checkout at Costco was a Vikings fan. The checkout at the grocery store was a Bears fan. Why? You wear it to Disney like I did, brother? I loved when I was wearing my Packer shirt around Disney. The amount of Go Pack Goes I heard was great. My girls were so embarrassed. There was one moment where Violet was getting to meet Mr. Freeze from The Incredibles, and this guy came up to me and said, "Hi, can I get a pic? I watch you all the time." Blah, blah, blah. And my girls are like so embarrassed by that. It's so funny. They're like, "Oh God, you're such a nerd." It's true. It's very true. Bill, what's up, man? I think Dustin should announce our pick tomorrow night. Absolutely. Talk about giving at the office. My God. All right, here's the Bears pick. They took the safety out of Oregon. I mean, they did lose their whole safety group and a lot of their secondary. So I'm just happy it's not a edge rusher. I'll take it. It is also fun given how Justice was making fun of him about an hour ago. So there you go. Go roll that tape. Oh, so good. Dustin, thanks again. This little one is for Shadow Lane old fashions. You damn right. Love me some Shadow Lane old fashions. Jeff Jones, thank you, sir. I want siege warfare this season. I love short, splashy drives, but we need long, sustained drives that drain our opponent and burn up their resources. I feel you, and I think LaFleur does enjoy that. He cannot help himself sometimes on some of these shot plays, right? Which is fine. I don't mind being aggressive, and I think they have their place. But yeah, I'm with you for no other reason than and give the defense a little rest, which is always the issue when you have like a 2 or 3 play drive, right? Your defense is right back out there. So yeah, man, I'm with you. I'm down with this idea. Yes, Portmaster Frozone. Very correct. Johnny Rivers. Just talking about you, brother. We should pick a happy hour where we all wear red curly wigs and sundresses and Dustin wears a suit and bald cap. Daddy Warbucks in the house. Johnny, very sorry to hear about your situation. I did have the link to the GoFundMe in the chat earlier. Hope you're up and back on your feet soon, brother. And thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for your continued support. Really appreciate it, man. Oh, William James. Come on now. We just need the 03 Packers O-line. Brother, can you imagine Jordan Love behind that line? I mean, the line where the whole stadium knew the Packers were going to run the ball, and Amon Green still gained like 7 to 8 yards on first down. Come on, man. That line was ridiculous. Mike Wall, that whole group, man. Marco Rivera. Come on. Now you got me. Now you got me wistful. You got me teared up, man. Soder, how are you, brother? I find Packers fans in Disney ride lines and play random Packer with them. Tight end Gary Lewis usually breaks them. That's a good one. That is a good one. Dustin, thanks again, buddy. Who has the GoFundMe and where can I donate? I've got it right here. Our good buddy Johnny Rivers, who you just saw there, had a fire and lost, I'm not going to say everything, but he lost a lot. So here's the GoFundMe to help him get back on his feet. It's in the chat. This is so good, Porkmaster. Gun to my head, I'm going 5 wide. Corey Banky, I'm predicting Matt's plays. I will stick with me forever. Made me cackle. I mean, is he wrong? No. I mean, that's the thing, though. Matt isn't really the 5 wide guy like McCarthy was, but I understand the feeling, the pervasive feeling of when push comes to shove, Matt's gonna throw it around the yard. The one that haunts me, it's not so much like going 5 wide per se, but going spread against the Bucks in the NFC Championship game. There's a NFL Films mic'd up moment, captured Matt on the sideline saying, "All right, yeah, let's go. We're gonna throw it all day," or something along those lines, and it's like the one thing you don't wanna do against that Bucks defense. Yeah. So I understand that kind of pervasive thought when looking at LaFleur on the sideline. What's up? Ken Hansen. How you doing, man? How do you think the division did in the first? I think the Lions made the most obvious move. They definitely needed to go tackle. Was a bit surprised the Vikings didn't go safety after the loss of Harrison Smith, but obviously they enjoyed their pick. And the Bears, I think, got probably the least value, but they obviously like the kid. If you missed it earlier, Justice was nonplussed about the idea of that safety going to the Vikings. So some of you guys, Oregon fans watched a lot of him, etc. Justin, how are you, brother? Jay Love licking his chops on that safety pick. I feel you, man. I feel you. Although, hey, look, Dennis Allen did some work against that Packers offense in the playoff game. You cannot deny it. We got some work to do on our own offense. Vex, thanks for the super chat. You think we get a tight end in this draft? I do. I had a clip out from Daily I think 2 weeks ago, where I talked about, lead up to the draft, you talk about every possible position, scenario, etc. And there are a lot of them that are beat to death. But I do think the two positions that maybe not surprise people, but haven't been on people's radars as much as corner and defensive tackle, stuff we've talked a ton about, is running back and tight end. And I do think there are some tight ends that make sense on day 3. Roush, if out of Stanford, is a guy I have was in my draft crush list. I really hope they take him. I think he'd be a perfect complement to Tucker Kraft. But there are a couple of those types of guys, I think day 3 guys, that they will probably look at, given that Musgrave's entering the final year of his deal. Doesn't feel like that's a long-term solution or a guy they want to keep around. So, yeah, I would think they would want to get that room replenished, so to speak. And I think they like Wiley, but they got out of Josh Wiley last year, but I don't know that that's a long-term concern. So, yeah, I would suspect there's a more than decent chance that they look at tight end Saturday. Doesn't mean they'll automatically pull the trigger. Depends on obviously how the board falls, but I do not doubt for a moment they'll be looking at tight ends. Absolutely. Michael, how are you, sir? Thanks for the super chat. Love being the sole Packer fan in a family of Miami fans. Nobody understands why I'm a Floridian supporting Green Bay. 2026 is our year. Go Pack, go. Well, you're going to have a good time the week when the Dolphins come up to Lambeau. That'll be fun. There you go. And look, whatever success, what's great, Michael, what sets up perfectly for you is whatever success Miami has, you can say, you're welcome. You got your GM from us, got your quarterback from us, coach from us. You're welcome. Now, that's if they're successful, which I suspect they will be. But yeah, that's your ace in the hole. Even if the Dolphins end up doing really well and being really good for a long time, you can say, you're welcome. It's good. Simitovich, how are you, sir? As a Purdue fan, Thieneman couldn't make it at Purdue. Gonna bust, I hope. Thoughts on a late running back? Would weirdly like Hemby from IU. Feel we need one. Yes, they will probably, as I was just talking about, take a running back on day 3. I'm not going to say this is a foregone conclusion or will absolutely happen or anything like that, but I think they could surprise some people and take a running back tomorrow. I'm not saying I'd be a huge fan of that move, but, they have taken swings on running backs. I mean, the obvious one is A.J. Dillon. Don't forget when they were in the mix for trying to trade for Taylor from Indy. They are, I think, of a different mindset when it comes to running back. The fact that they signed Josh Jacobs in free agency, You know, they are not afraid to put assets into that position, premium assets, and it wouldn't surprise me. The Washington kid out of Arkansas is the one I'm going to really be watching for tomorrow. I think there's a chance they make that pick. Now, again, it depends how the board falls, what else is available, etc. But don't be shocked if that happens. Jerry, how are you, sir? CHTV helped me get back on my feet after my divorce. Love this page, company, and people. You guys are the best, especially you, Nags. Thank you, brother. I feel you, dog. Thanks for being here. I'm glad we can be there for you. Dustin, what's up? Jeremiah Love signs 4-year, $53 million deal. Wowzer. Yeah, I mean, these are slotted contracts, right? Third overall pick gets X amount. That's slotted in. CBA, the rookie wage scale, right? It is part of the gig now. We got the Dolphins picking. Holy cow. Keelan Rutledge went to the Texans. They need all the offensive line help they can get. We got the pick is in from the Dolphins. The second selection for John Eric Sullivan. Who does he like? What do we got here? Come on now. Oh, the corner, Chris Johnson. Whoa. There you go. Cornerback off the board. You know, I like John Eric Sullivan, but I don't like him taking players I like. But yeah, man, he's going to be a good NFL player. Well, here you go. Corner off the board. Bill, how you doing, man? I believe this draft for the Pack is all about depth. I don't expect any starters arising from this class. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly always about trying to get cheap labor, get young, upcoming guys you can develop. As far as guys who can step in and start this year, yeah, probably not. But you never know what happens long term and even short term. Maybe someone comes into camp and balls out, turns some heads, gets an opportunity, and runs with it. Can't say it's impossible, right? But yeah, you're not wrong in the sense that I just love these shots of Halfley. Like, yeah, man, that's better than any corner I had at Green Bay. Gotta be so pumped. Jerry, how are you? Mike Washington, round 3 would be acceptable. See, that's the thing, though. Like, if they took him at 52, people would lose their minds, right? But if he comes in and balls out, I don't think it's going to matter, right? Okay. The Patriots have made a pick. Interesting. 28. God, guys, we are almost done. This is nuts. All right. Patriots pick is in. Dustin, thanks again, brother. Great to see 3 of my ASU Sun Devils going tonight. Man, they got a program, dude. They have got a program, no question about it. Patriots trading up for Rossini. Let's be nice. Let's be nice. Oh, man, what a monster, crazy situation. All of that is just nuts. Patriots selection. Let's see who Elliott Wolf has his eye on. Patriots take a tackle out of Utah. Caleb Lomu. I mean, we all saw the Super Bowl, right? You can't say I'm surprised. They need to keep building up. No question about it. They got taken apart by Seattle. Mike Witt, how are you, buddy? Lee Hunter and Jacob Rodriguez are my draft crushes. Rodriguez next to Cooper would be a lot of fun. Ooh, I'd like that. You're not wrong as far as like his potential long term in the linebacker spot in Green Bay. Love it. Lee Hunter. I know the draft nerds don't like him, but yeah, man, I'm with you. I think he's a big dude who can wreck shop, and I do think he could develop into a good NFL player. But like I said, draft nerds aren't happy about it. They don't like the idea. So can't happen. Sorry. I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding. All right, I'll make sure I didn't miss anything there. I got that one. Got that one. Very good. Brandy groom these guys from the draft like LaFleur's eyebrows. Man, we are deep now. We are deep into the round, deep into the first round. Holy cow. Brandy, I missed you. So now we got 4 picks left. That's crazy. What happens? What happens if the Packers jump up to 32? You know Schneider's on the phone going, come on, Brian. There's somebody you love that's dropping that you want to get 5 years of control on. Come on, give me a couple picks. I need more. I've only got 4 picks. Give me some picks. That's what's happening right now. I'm going to roll the this is what's happening right now. This is, see all this? Wait a second. Where is it? See right here? Like these guys are talking like Schneider's on the speakerphone. Is he? Yeah, no, I mean, there ain't no way. There's nobody I'm jumping up for. Okay, I think that's, probably reasonable. No, that makes sense. Thinking. Yeah, no. He's got a see those cameras? They're watching us. They know. LaFleur chewing that gum, thinking, why am I here? Man, I don't have any input. Why do they have me do this? It's kind of ridiculous. All these scouts hoping the phone rings. Oh, it doesn't. Good times. Good times. Love to see it. Frick the Packers South stealing our picks. Why? You knew that was going to be part of the process, though, dude. John Eric Sullivan spent a long time under Ted, then Goody. He's working the exact same system. I mean, obviously, he's going to have his wrinkles and things he wants to do his certain way, but he's doing it the Ron Wolf way, the Packer way. Right here, baby. Read up. This is how John Eric Sullivan is going to operate in Miami. Yeah, that was always in the cards, definitely. Is it me or would I not want to meet Ed Policy in a dark alley? What? I mean, he does work out quite regularly, according to Corey Banke. I mean, they're like workout buddies at this point. It's kind of crazy. Mike, this is an interesting question. Does Policy like Carry the G? He seemed to on the stream last night. I don't know if he's ever tried it, but I'm assuming yes. Seeing as this is the first time I've ever spoken with the man, I didn't want to, like, straight up talk about the Legacy Ale nonsense being served in Lambeau when Carry the G was going to be available and then pulled. But eventually that conversation will be had. Trust me. Trust on that. We will be discussing that at some point. So the Chiefs pick is in. All right. Chiefs pick is in. And then we got Niners, Bills, and Seahawks. Jerry, what's up, brother? Johnny's GoFundMe is more than double funded. Good. Thank you, Packers fans. I mean, I know other folks are contributing as well, but thank you, anybody and everybody who contributed from the links here tonight. Really appreciate you all. Joseph! I will say one thing. Goody doesn't look as smug as he has in days past. Oh, stop. Oh, Joseph, I missed you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night, brother. We're out here doing the Smugometer on B-roll from the draft war room. I love it. Oh, Parkmaster, thank you, sir. Matt shouldn't get any more free haircuts after the playoff loss. Haircuts are for closers only. Could you imagine if you grew out like a shaggy, big mane? That'd be great. Everyone would lose their minds. Johnny Rivers, thank you all from the very bottom of my heart. We got you, brother. Thanks for being here tonight, man. I know you're going through a lot, and I know sometimes you just want to get away from it. So I'm kind of sorry to bring it up, but I did want to let people know they could help. All right. Chief selection about to be announced. What's we got here, folks? Come on. Brandy. Chris Johnson. Nah, he's way too good for our secondary. Damn. Chiefs take Peter Woods out of Clemson, the defensive tackle. Chris Jones ain't getting any younger. Yeah, that's a good player right there. 49ers on the clock. How will John Lynch screw this up, Mr. I'm using AI in my evaluations? Good Lord, what are we doing as a human race? Someone please AI Matt with long hair. Brandy. Nags, I hope Goot trades back from 52. Fans are way too spoiled these days. I hope he does whatever he wants to do and needs to do. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you were here earlier when we were talking to the guys on the beat, almost to a guy, they are all saying like they expect they're going to at least try to drop down, and I think Justice and Jacob kind of said the same stuff too. There's zero doubt that Goody wants more picks. He wants more swings at the plate, so to speak. And Jets are on the clock. Holy cow. Jets traded up with the 49ers and are now about to make a selection. Look at that. Come on now. Jets make moves. They got to compliment that tight end they just took at 16. He chickened out. AI told him to trade out. Justin. It's so good. I guess so. Well, who are the Jets targeting here? That's interesting. Pick is in. Oh, wow. Look at that Packers fan. Come on now. That is serious stuff right there. We don't even have a first-round pick. It's a legend Packers fan there. Wow. That's great. Okay, Jets pick is in. At pick 30, they have traded up. See who they select. Man, I will say, one of the biggest things I miss about the draft being in New York is the Jets fans in Radio City. That was a party, and it was awesome, and they hated every pick, and they booed every fucking year, and it was great. It was so much fun. Jerry, stop. Average rent in New York City is over $4,000. Everyone's super chat, LOL. People do what they can. No obligation. I appreciate the support, obviously. Here comes Goodell. Let's see who he's got. This has been fun, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. Again, I can't. We're gonna get this almost under 3 hour. A 3-hour draft, first round. That's crazy. All right. Omar Cooper, Indiana wideout, going to the Jets. All right. He really liked him. Jumping back up, getting that 5 years of control. Wait. I missed one. Oh, there's Lewis. There we go. Just got here. Does everyone hate the pick yet? Love you, Nags. Thanks for everything, brother. Thank you, Lewis. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate you, man. And yes, everyone hates the pick. That hasn't happened yet, but they hate it instinctually. And they're projecting forward into the future where they know they will hate the pick. That's what's happening. That's where we're at, brother. That's how we roll. It's a 3-hour tour, Nagler. Well played. 2 picks left. We got the Bills on the clock at the moment, and the Seahawks desperately trying to trade out. Mike Witt, what's up? I bet Ed drinks wine like his coach. I will say, I think you may be wrong on that one, but I have no definitive proof. given where he was headed last night, I think beer was on the docket, but I can't say for certain. We got Parsons. Yes, we did. 1,000%. Why wait for the pick to get him mad on? That is kind of it. That is kind of how it rolls, right? We know we're going to be mad. Like I said, like if they took Washington, say, at 52, draft Twitter would hate it. People would be mad for days. All the comparisons to A.J. Dillon would be made. But if the kid comes in and balls out, who cares? You want a player? Get him. Make sure you get him. I don't hate that at all. But I know, like I said, people are definitely ready to be mad. We've got another trade. The Titans are on the clock, trading up to the 31st. People trying to get those 5 years of control on players. And you know, it's the Jets, the Titans. Like, yeah, man, you got to hopefully hold on to some of these guys that you want to become main part of your program, and you want that 5th-year option. It makes sense. Pick is in for the Titans. Thank you, Tennessee, for not taking forever. Electric. Jets get another wide receiver for Geno Smith to overthrow. You're not totally wrong. I mean, you're not completely wrong. All right. Tennessee. Who we got, Tennessee? Crap team's going to do what they do. They will, but I don't mind. Like I said, like it makes sense as far as you're a young program trying to build something, which the Jets always are, and the Titans certainly are right now. But yeah, if you get a player that you love and you can get that extra year of control with a 5th-year option, it makes sense to jump up and do it. Like, don't love giving away whatever assets you're giving away to get up there. But if it's going to be what you think is a special player and a core part of your program, you can make the case. Mike Witt, thanks again, brother. Who will gain in punch this year? Hopefully it's Nixon after his first missed tackle. Oh, you just gave me that's a good one for a watch party. Get our poll up, like who gets punched. You know, I'm sorry, man. I know people probably think I harp on it, though I didn't bring it up this time. But it is such a bad look. It's such an awful look for a coach, you know? It's not something I would have ever thought the Packers would invite into their building. But there it is, man. As what is the old quote from some scout or personnel folk? It was obviously anonymous because no one would ever put their name on this. But when they were talking about the draft process and guys having off-field issues, and yeah, if Hannibal Lecter ran 4.3, we diagnosed him with an eating disorder. You know, if you can do the job at a high level, do it well, and help them win, they don't care. Titans pick. Selection is made. Goodell about to tell us all. The whole world will know. Tremble at the name that the Titans have selected. Just trying to filibuster here. Oh, okay. Whatever nonsense you're talking about, Goodell. Come on, man. Just go. Just say the name. You're paid $40 million a year. Just get out there and say the name, brother. Keldrick Falk. All right. We talked about him earlier. They really like this edge. Yeah, Titans got the wide receiver for their quarterback, and now got their edge to go terrorize opposing quarterbacks. Trying to cook. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we come to the final selection of the first round. Crazy. Lewis. Remember when the Jets fleeced Green Bay? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, I remember it. There's some folks who are employed by ESPN who don't seem to remember it, but I remember it. Are we sure Gutekunst is a smart person? Never forget. All right, Seattle. Definitely calling the Packers right now, going, come on, Goody. You know you want it. You want to do it. This is crazy. Rappaport reporting that the Eagles traded up for Mekhi Lemon while he was on the phone with the Steelers. Man, Howie's an assassin. An assassin. Yeah. So here we go. My night could be either over or just starting, depending on if Gutekunst trades up, which I don't expect him to, but you never say never. All right. Seahawks undoubtedly making tons of calls, saying, come on, people. Remember when the Jets had all that leverage? God, remember Leverage Gate? That shit went on forever. Forever. Leverage. And the fact that there were like people I respect, both in the media and even in the league, who like, oh no, you could see the Jets have all the leverage. Like, what are you talking about? That was hilarious, man. That whole sequence, that whole kind of episode that went on for months, essentially. Oh, that shit was hilarious. Hilarious. All right, Seattle, what you got? Come on now. William, you just made the perfect point, the correct point. No one went in the first round I'd rather have than Micah. Correctamundo. Tell him what he's won. Recognition on a YouTube stream. Andrew, what's up, brother? Get me to tomorrow night. Yeah, brother, I feel you. Unless the Packers pick right now. Which I don't think they're going to do, but hey, crazier shit has happened. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Come on, Seattle. Krista, yes, exactly. That's when I learned that most people don't know what leverage means. Seriously. A billion% yes. My God. Oh, Steven, what's up? Goody is already killing a spotted cow at home away from the facility. Of course, because, you know, if he's in Lambeau, he's going to have more product. But yes, undoubtedly. Although, you know, I'll bet Schneider's working the cell phone. Come on, drive back to Lambeau. Drive back to Lambeau. Make this trade. All right. Still no resolution here. They're still on the clock. Anything could happen. We got a divisional trade? No way. Come on now. Come on now. Oh. So apparently, Brian Gutekunst is going to have a presser after the first round. Awesome. Well, that's fun. What the hell? Come on now. Okay, nope. Seattle's pick is in. They did not trade. Seattle's pick is in at 32. See who they take. That'll be it. The Packers will not be selecting tonight. We will hear from Gutekunst for whatever reason afterwards. Yeah, Portmaster. They didn't trade. Got it. Let's wrap this up. Big time. 100%. God, don't put Big Citrus out there. Come on now. You need him to last to tomorrow. Don't want that. Don't need that. Oh, Brandy, I love it. Nags, please bring back the I Can't Help You sound clip. Yeah, I do have to have that preloaded. That is such a great, great Packers moment. I can't help you. Winston Moss, man, what a legend. What an absolute legend. Goodell. Goodell has no idea what to do with this kid. He's not a kid, a guy. This dude, this guy. All right, come on, people, wrap it up. Let's do it. RCS nailed it. Yeah, our board is holding up. We like where we're sitting. Maybe the Jonathan Gannon presser? I don't think so, but that would be brilliant. That would be absolutely brilliant. This kid, Dylan, is grabbing the mic. He's ready to roll. He's yelling into it. Seahawks, Super Bowl champions, about to make their selection. Oh, he's got to read the card. You can do it, buddy. Come on now. Give it to us. Darian Price. So both Notre Dame running backs go in the first round of the NFL draft. Seahawks love their running backs, man. They can't wait to take a running back early. So there you go. Champs get a running back to replace the running back they lost in free agency. Love to see it. And with that said, I'm probably going to go listen to Goody and go to bed. Pimo, what's up? Hope Goot talks Micah / shows highlights and presser. Wouldn't that be great if he just came out and, like, rolled? They got their new media auditorium with like some high tech stuff, and they're just like 3D stuff of Micah just tearing apart quarterbacks. That's what they do. That'd be great. All right, everybody. I am going to jump. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out here. The first round of an NFL draft. The Packers did not have a first round selection the first time in a very long time. But we always hang out. We drink beer. We talk ball. We make fun of the North. That's how we roll. Really appreciate it. As I said earlier, Patreon members, Carry the G Club members, the Zoom information for tomorrow's stream will be available on your respective pages tomorrow morning. Just as we have in past years, you'll all be part of the stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some of our guests from tonight will come back. We'll have some other folks around as well. Most importantly, Newt Weston will be here, our draft analyst, talk about the Packer selections. See you all tomorrow night. Thank you all so much. And truly, clearly there were a lot of really generous donations tonight. Thank you, Dustin. And thank you guys for supporting Johnny Rivers, what he's going through. Packers fans, you all show up each and every time. You're all amazing. Really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much. Have a great night. And finally, as the great philosopher once said, go Pack, go.